I made a shocking discovery today when I was hanging out over at MEUK's Discord server.
Ladies and gentlemen, tonight we come to see and hear a legendary superstar presenting the one, the only, undisputed, undefeated heavyweight champion of the world.
Flat Earth geometry.
He is
my good friend, Bev, try thinking.
No, Ben, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, I got the answer for the water level from him.
From your boss?
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if you put it at 3 kilometers,
yeah,
and you have a water level from from A to B, it will be horizontal. It would be flat. But if you have one in the middle, in 3 kilometers, it will rise up.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, he goes with that hump model, the McToons-Bislin hump.
Yeah, he said that is what would happen. If you put the 3 kilometers, that is what would happen.
Yeah. That's what he imagines would happen. That's it.
Well, he just said that will happen.
Yeah, well, we've got a test to show that, right? That should be able to show that.
Yeah, you would.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, you can try it, but he said nobody does it, but that's why. But nobody does it. Well, you never put one in the middle, but if you put one in the middle, it will rise up. He says.
But yeah, like he did say that the two outside ones would be a horizontal, right?
Yeah. The one on the right and left, they will be flat, but one in the middle will rise.
But what happens if you move the one from the end to the middle?
I didn't ask that.
You could try.
I'll try when I get the opportunity. But now I have to go to work.
Yeah.
I'll listen with you in my ears while I work.
Okie dokie.
So I won't be able to talk.
It's like loads of people have come round. Welcome, people.
Yeah, I was just sitting here talking about their bullshit model, and everybody showed up.
Yeah.
And then I dropped out. I was like, what the heck? Am I talking anymore?
I'm here. I can hear you. Nobody else seems to be talking.
Yeah, I don't know if they heard me on my rant right there, but, you know.
I did. I couldn't talk much. I got a bunch of lawn mowing going on around me.
Yeah. Seems to be everyone that I've heard, at least anyway, that's seen this model conundrum, seems to dismiss the Kozlowski nutsack drop. I mean, I hope it's not just because we've named it wrong. And it's not like... Because, I mean, that is the... That's the one that your main men have gone for, right? It seems.
I don't know. Maybe they don't. Maybe they're not buying what Kozlowski's saying now.
Yeah.
Maybe that's why he's in hiding, because the globe heads have rejected him.
Yeah, drop down. I think it's the word drop, right? The raise up, as you know, you put a direction on it, which is the hard point. Nobody wants to talk about it. I think it's funny that nobody wants to actually talk about the model.
I've stuck those two things in the live stream text for you both.
Thank you very much.
Do you just need the two of them done, or do you need the third one?
No, the realist one.
I'm trying to tell you, you found the uncanny valley and you're screwing up their heads, man.
What's up, guys? I'm
Oh.
Was that you, Plick?
That was a sultry voice.
Yeah, I didn't realise it was a video, but I'm just trying to see how to unban by ID That's new to me.
Yeah, it's an IP ban. So basically, on the list, the server list of bans, I've got people who aren't on there, but they can't get in the server.
If it's an IP ban, then all he has to do is turn his router on and off. He'll get a different IP address.
No, yeah, I don't know. It's over my head, I'm afraid.
Somebody banned? I see that somebody named Sheep is here.
Sheeple, is he? He's the one that writes poetry for you, isn't he?
Oh, really?
I think so. Yeah, he wants to come and
That's
sing
a great
to you.
name. Sheeple's Phoenix.
Must be another fan. Good to meet you. Beach.
Whoa! Looks like we're getting a bunch of curved in here all of a sudden. Baby Obama. Who the heck is that?
Is nobody allowing them to talk, or are they all quiet?
Yeah, no, they're fine. Baby Obama don't.
I'm just waiting for Primate. Is Primate here?
I think so.
Primate wants to have a 1v1, so he wouldn't do it over gyms, so I said I would do it here. But he doesn't.
Hang on a minute, Vici. You were responding to an invitation that was put out to you by God's Sculptor.
No, it wasn't.
Yes, you
I
were.
already responded to that. No, I already responded to that. That's done. That's over. Then you said, well, you always run blah, blah, blah. And I said, well, let's have a debate right now. And you said, no, let's have it at a appointed time. And here's the point of time.
Slow down a touch.
So let's do it.
This
is how I talk. You're going to have to keep up.
Don't do less amphetamines, mate.
Don't be
Hey,
gross. That's gross.
Hey, Veach, what do you want to do? Just tell us you live on a ball?
I don't know. We're going to debate 1v1. I guess I'm going to let him pick a topic if he wants. If you want, I can pick a topic, Primate.
No, the topic was whatever was going to be discussed when you didn't come here last time.
I have no idea what God's Couple wanted to discuss. He just said, come by for a chat. I said, I'll be by in a little bit. I came by. No one was here. That was the end of that story. I know you want to make it like something much more exciting, but it was all there was to it.
Well, nothing to do with you is exciting, is it? Contradiction.
I guess that's kind of mean. That's mean, Primate. I think I can be exciting.
Oh, you can
if
be
nothing else, I
very
talk
mean.
fast. So what do you want to debate, Primate? You want to prove to me the Earth is flat?
When did I ever say the Earth was flat?
No, I'm sure you did, though.
Why are you building a straw man for me?
Well, do you not think the Earth is flat? Am I wrong about that?
The Earth is provably not flat.
Okay, do you want to prove that?
Well, you've got hills, valleys, mountains.
So that's all you mean is it has topography?
Topography, there you go. Summed it up in one word. Well done, Vici.
Do you think that topography is on a flat plane, or do you think it's on a sphere?
Can't really tell, can you?
So you don't think it's provably not a sphere?
Well, there's, like you said earlier, you can't prove it with science. Science doesn't prove anything. What was the way you phrased it earlier?
You need to have a formal system.
A formal
system.
Logical.
Well, it doesn't have to be logical, but
logic helps. Logic helps, though, doesn't it? It does help to have logical steps to form a conclusion. Does it, or does it not?
It doesn't really make a difference for the idea of whether it can hold or have proofs or not. But yeah, a formal logical system can contain proofs. Mathematics contains proofs. Things that are abstract, things that build their own set of rules, and then within those rules you can have true proof.
Abstract, is it?
Yeah.
No, it's
abstract.
not.
Why?
No, it's
Why
not.
not? Well, how not? How not?
Well, how does it give you proofs if it's abstract?
Well, because proofs refer to things that are true, will always be true, can never not be true within the system. So an abstract system, like say mathematics or logic, can have statements that are false, and they have statements that are true.
Well, we can afford to disagree on that one. We can agree to disagree on that one, can't we, Vici?
Well, why do you think it's not abstract? What
We
do you
don't
think,
we
what
don't
do you
have
think
to agree on
abstract
everything.
means?
But the point that we're trying to make here is that level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. Right.
Okay.
This is the statement, the blanket statement that we hold as an evidence. Let's put it that way.
Okay.
And it takes a formal logical steps.
The level surface drops
prove
away,
this.
drops down
It is provable.
from the horizontal plane
How is it provable?
at a rate of 8 inches
Well,
times the distance in miles squared.
What is your counterclaim against that? I've given you my claim.
I'm asking you, how do you do this? You've made a claim. You say it's proof.
Yeah,
I can
but let's hear
this
your
is true.
counterclaim. Let's hear your counterclaim.
I'm not sure I have a counterclaim. I'm not even sure what you're really saying yet. I'm not sure I have a counterclaim.
A straight
Can you
line.
prove what you just said or no?
Level is a straight line on a horizontal plane. You get a level, you put it in the level horizontal position, and that level forms a line that is extendable indefinitely in any direction, which is a plane.
So you can make a line that way?
You can make a plane that way.
You can make a plane that way too, yeah. Sure, you can do that.
Right.
You can make a bunch of lines like that.
A level is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
You can define level that way if you want.
This water level.
No, this is the definition of level.
Water level.
It's not just me.
My understanding is
horizontal
that
line.
people use the word
At
level
A.
to often mean
Then
maintains the same altitude or maintains the same height above some spherical surface.
Altitude is nothing to do with level, is it? Altitude is something different to a level.
Well, no, what I was saying is that my understanding is that people do use it this way. It doesn't really matter to me, though, how people do or don't use it. What matters is evidence for the actual shape, right? Because these definitions of these words don't really help us know what the shape is.
Right, the shape. Okay, so you've mentioned shape.
Horizontal tangent.
So
Horizontal tangent. That's his claim.
Where
Our
you think
claim
you live
is-
has a shape.
Sure. The planet? The planet
Well,
probably has a shape. I don't know for
wherever,
sure, but I
wherever
would guess
you
it has
think you
a
live,
shape.
it doesn't really matter to me where you think
planet.
you live.
We call
But
it a planet.
It has a defined shape, yeah, a definite shape.
It's my best guess, yeah. It has a shape.
Right, and what is this shape? As
My
your
best guess is that it's a sphere.
A sphere.
Roughly. An oblate spheroid, if you want to be
An
technical. But,
oblate
roughly.
spheroid. Yeah?
That's what I just said.
Okay, so
roughly a sphere.
it has curvature.
Yeah, that's my best guess.
Now from
do you not agree with that?
From your position, doesn't matter whether I agree with it or not.
Well,
from
it
your
matters to me.
position,
It's the whole point of talking to you.
No, it doesn't matter about my opinion. It's only my opinion.
Why not?
Nobody gives a shit about my opinion.
Well, it's only my opinion that we're talking about. Why is my opinion going to be so privileged over yours? If that's the case, hey, that's great. I'll take a privileged opinion.
This is why you're here, Mr. Veach, because we value your opinion.
This is why you wouldn't come in our 1v1 because
Gems is a zoo. Gems is an absolute zoo.
Okay.
It's a horrible place to go.
I told
and
you,
every time
everyone
I've
else will
been
be
in
muted,
there,
just
he
you and me.
has kept me on server mute, and there's no point me being there. You know, so
well, you come in there a lot,
and then he lies about it in the YouTube text.
That's terrible.
So
that is terrible.
You know, that is really.
I already told you, you would be. Everyone else would be muted. It'd be me and you, and I'm not Jim.
Well,
but anyway, go on. It's fine.
But you're here now.
So my opinion matters. Your opinion doesn't matter. Where does that leave us?
Well, I'm just trying to get your opinion of where you think you live, where you believe you live.
My opinion is it's roughly a sphere.
Roughly a sphere. And how rough is your sphere?
Well, the oblate spheroid, I guess, if that's true, and I suspect that it probably is, it's an incredibly small amount of deviation from a true sphere. I mean, if you look at it actually as a picture from space, it looks pretty much perfect. So I don't know exactly. I think I want to say it's like 3,000 miles wider on the bottom than on the top, something like that.
3,000 miles wider on the bottom than it is on the top.
Yeah, when you take the average of the
So the bottom of your sphere is wider than the top. So it's more like a pear. So the grassy was right. It's more like a pear.
I'm sorry.
That's right.
What is up and down in
I forget
space?
which one.
Excuse me.
That's all right. We're doing a. I thought we were doing one private. That's not the case.
What is up and down in space?
All right. This isn't what we talked about, Brian. Up and down. There's no up and down in space, but we were trying to do a 1v1. I don't know who this is or who you are, but there's no up and down space. Is that satisfactory?
You answered my question. Yeah.
No up and down in space.
On Earth, we talk about up and down relative to a gravity vector.
Yeah, blah blah blah. Right. So your
that's weird.
Your thing is more pear-shaped than oblate spheroid. Yeah. It's why you say it's wider. It's wider at the bottom.
Oblate spheroid means. That's what oblate spheroid means. It means that it's pear-shaped slightly.
I thought an oblate spheroid was just something that bulges around the middle.
Well, it bulges on the middle or lower half, I think.
That's not an oblate spheroid then, is it, really?
I think it is,
spheroid bulging
down
the middle.
I don't think it has to be around the exact middle, but if I'm wrong about that, so be it.
Well, so you're standing on your pear-shaped oblate spheroids, right? And how does the curvature present itself to you from your standing position?
Well, a couple of different ways.
A couple of different ways. How can it be a couple of different ways?
Yeah, it's from the How can it? Why do you say that? What kind of question is that?
The curvature is one thing. One thing presents itself in many different ways.
You asked, how does? Can you not imagine how things can present themselves in different ways?
Well, come on then. Sorry, I interjected. I shouldn't have done that. I asked the question. I should have done you the courtesy of
like, for example, if you say, how do you know somebody's a mailman? I could say, well, I know it presents itself in a couple of different ways.
But this is digressing. Let's get back to your oblate spheroid. How does it present itself as a curve?
A couple of different ways. The one way is that when I look, I see exactly what I would expect to see on a sphere of this size.
But
so when I look around, I walk out my front door.
Prove anything, does it?
Well, nothing. None of this is going to prove anything. We've been over this. I thought we agreed on this. Can't prove it. But I could just tell you. It is
provable. It is definitely provable.
How's it provable?
Well, let's finish your how it presents itself.
How do you think it's provable?
No, come on. Finish your sentences.
I just told you. I came out. I walk out the door. I look, and it looks exactly like it should look. So that's one piece of inference. Another piece of evidence is it's not hard. I'm sorry. What?
Well, carry on. Sorry.
Go ahead. The other piece of evidence is that I have all these pictures from space I see.
That's not evidence.
Like on the internet.
Mr. Beach, that's not evidence. No, it's not.
It is evidence.
It comes from a government agency that is renowned for lying to you.
They're not renowned for lying. There's no evidence they've ever lied.
Let's not pretend.
You guys say that a lot, but you never have any evidence.
Mr. Beach.
And second of all, it is evidence.
Let's not pretend it's evidence.
Mr. Primate, I'm not going to not pretend it's live because it is evidence. A picture from space is evidence. It comes from more places. Oh my God, you're really just going to interrupt every time, aren't you? It is evidence. I'll tell you why. It comes from more places than just NASA. It comes from 77 different space agencies.
No, you teach your child that level is a horizontal
That's just something that you assert without any evidence.
And the implication of that is that you're teaching your child.
I've seen a picture from space of the curve of the Earth that had nothing to do with NASA. That came directly from my dad. Didn't go through NASA.
No, you teach your child that level is a horizontal plane, which is not
true. If you want to believe that,
and the implication of that is that you are teaching your child the Earth is flat.
It's not evidence, is it? Really?
Of course, it's evidence.
No.
And what do you think? What do you think evidence is? If you go into a court of law and someone says, "Did you do the crime?" and they say, "Oh, here's pictures of doing the crime," you don't think that's evidence?
Like that water is level.
You are talking about.
No, you teach your child that level is a horizontal plane, which is not true. And the implication of that is that you are teaching your child the Earth is flat.
Accepted as evidence to prove your
discovery
a blade spheroid pear shape. Yeah.
Why do you keep getting slipped up like this? I can't prove it. You're not going to prove anything.
Right, it can't. But
I do. I can't show you pictures or photographs
to put in the evidence bag, shall we say? Yeah, to put in the evidence bag. But you won't accept an image like, say, the black swan from the beginning of the year.
Of course, I would accept the black swan as an image. It's a piece of evidence.
You do accept
your child the Earth is flat.
Sure.
I made a shocking discovery.
That's a digression.
I don't think that the black swan has been doctored in some way. If that's what you're saying. I think the black swan is a piece of photography that represents what you'd see if you were standing there. I don't think someone came and CGI'd it or anything like that.
So
is
the
psychological
horizon
child
over
abuse.
10 miles away.
Like that water is level.
I think the
No,
horizon
you
is
teach
tricky
your
to figure
child
out
that
there.
level
But
is a horizontal
I think the
plane,
question is,
which
what
is
does
not
the
true.
Black
Horizon
Swan
is
photograph tell us?
blatantly over 10 miles away.
Well, the camera's only at 1 foot above sea level, right?
No, you teach your child that level is a horizontal plane.
So we
which
know
is
that
not
it's
true.
at minimum going to be what, 1.5 miles horizon, and then we don't know for sure where it actually is because of looming.
And
It's
the
tricky.
implication of
But
that
it's
is
somewhere
that you're
beyond 1.5
teaching your
miles.
child the Earth is
You
flat.
cannot loom the horizon.
I made a shocking
over
discovery
the
today when I
horizon.
was hanging out
Sure
over
you
No,
at
you can't, Mr. Beach. That's a fallacy.
Yeah, you can. All looming means is that the
Mr.
image
Beach,
is
that
higher
is a
than it
proper
would have been otherwise.
fallacy. You cannot
It's not a
loom
fallacy.
the
It's true. You can
horizon
absolutely loom
over
above
the
the horizon.
horizon. You need the
Of course you
horizon
can.
for your claimed
What
looming.
does looming mean? All it means is that the object is higher than it would be otherwise. Now, if that happens to the surface of the water, which it
Mr.
can,
Beach, you
then it
know
would
that
create
is
a new
absolute
obstacle.
horseshit.
Why do you keep saying my name like that? It's not bullshit. This is the truth. Though, of course, you can loom the horizon over the horizon. Whatever is the highest, most water point when you're looking at water, that's going to be what you call the horizon in
Like
picture, right?
that water
Now,
is
the highest,
level.
most point might be
No,
one
you
that's been
teach your
loomed,
child that
right?
level is a horizontal plane, which
No,
is not
it
true.
means there's one
And
horizon.
the implication of
No, it
that
doesn't mean
is
it's
that you're
two
teaching your
horizons.
child the
What?
Earth is
You have
flat.
one
No, you
that
teach your child that
is
level is a
the
horizontal plane,
horizon,
which is not
that
true.
the horizon
And the
is being
implication of
loomed
that
over.
is that you are teaching
So
your
you
child
have
the
the
Earth
It's no
is
longer
visible
flat.
the horizon,
horizon
then,
at
is
the
it?
back of the
It's no longer
image.
the horizon, is it?
Well, make up your mind. Are we talking about the
Well, I just
horizon or are
did.
we not
It's no
talking
longer the
about
horizon in that case. There's one horizon.
There's one horizon, which is at 10
Sure.
plus miles away.
I don't
And
know
as
where it
Mr.
is exactly,
Sensible,
but somewhere.
as Mr. Sensible said, at best, it's disproven the radius. And if you can't hold
It
to
doesn't
the
disprove the
radius,
radius.
it does. The horizon's
Doesn't
10
no, it
plus
doesn't.
miles away.
That would be the
Your
case. That would be the
geometry
case if
falls
refraction
apart
wasn't a
in
thing.
that picture.
Teaching your child the
Mr.
Earth
Beach.
is
No,
flat.
that's not true.
Yes, it is
No,
true.
because if it's being loomed, then it's not representative
Is
of
that
the
you are
true
teaching
geometry,
your
is
child
it?
the Earth is
If
flat.
it's not what? Sorry, you faded out there.
If it's being loomed, it's not representative of the true geometry, is it?
You are teaching your child the Earth.
Don't have a horizon in the foreground of the picture to loom
Because
the
it's being
horizon that's
because
10
it's being
plus
replaced by a
miles.
looming horizon.
Oh, Mr.
Yeah.
Beach.
So the looming horizon, though, means that it's no longer representing the correct geometry underneath, right? That's the whole point
Sorry,
of
can
looming.
you
It's an
say that
optical
again?
illusion.
You faded out again, Mr. Beach. Can you say that again?
Yeah, hold on, let me move my mic closer.
Child
Yeah,
is psychological child abuse.
Like
So-
that water is level.
The loomed horizon, by its very nature, is no longer representative of the geometry below. Agreed?
Carry on. There is no geometry, but what are you trying to say?
I mean, there's some geometry, right? Well, no matter who's right, there's some geometry underneath, right? I mean, even a flat plane is geometry, right?
Well, a level surface, a planar surface is
So
two-dimensional.
whatever it is.
So what's
It's
that?
geometry. It's geometry.
So you have a plane surface from your feet out to the horizon, 10 plus miles. Job done.
Hmm? No, I'm saying there's a geometry underneath, no matter who's right, is what I was saying. In any event, the loomed horizon means that it no longer represents the actual geometry. So you can't look at a loomed horizon and then say it proves the curvature is bigger than it is. I mean, that's not the case because the loomed horizon is a change in the optics of it all.
You need your geometric horizon for your looming.
Sometimes you can't see the geometric horizon, right? That's the problem.
Oh, you can't see
Most of
the
the time you can,
geometric
but
horizon.
right.
Okay.
Right.
Anyway,
If the horizon is loomed, you're not going to be able to see the geometric horizon. How can you see it? Like, truly, where would you point to the picture and show me where the geometric horizon is in there?
Well, that's my question to you. You can't show a geometric horizon in that picture.
You can sometimes. You just can't in that picture because there's such looming going on.
Okay. Whatever you need. Whatever you need, Mr. Beach.
You say that a lot, but as if it's an argument. To me, it just sounds like you're saying, I don't understand what I should say back to that.
Not at all.
So we were talking about pictures from space. You were telling me that you think photographs from space are not evidence.
No photographs are. Well, they're evidence, aren't they? They can be put in the evidence bag. But from an agency like NASA, no, it's all trickery. It's all foolery. It's nothing, is it? really.
I think you're unfair to NASA, but even if we were to get
Why
rid
should
of
I be
all
fair
of
to
NASA's,
NASA when they have
hold
been
on, can I just
proven
finish?
to
Can I
be
just finish my
liars?
sentence? They haven't been proven to be liars, but can I finish my sentence?
Yes, they have.
I think
Yes, they have
unfair to
countless
NASA, but-
times.
No, they haven't.
Countless times,
But
as Mr.
Yes, they
Clave
have.
Zero
no, they
has
haven't.
said.
No, they haven't.
They have been proven to be
You guys
liars.
assert that, but you guys never have any evidence of actual lies. But as the sentence
You
I've
mean
been
like
trying to
doctored?
complete
You
for
mean
like
like
30
doctored
seconds now.
photographs?
Like the green screen and the
green
other
screening
trick.
and what's
You guys
that?
have not shown me one piece of evidence that
chroma
they're lying.
Chroma keying that
But could I
fails.
finish my sentence? Oh my gosh.
There's loads of
So what you guys see is glitches. Like you guys will see a glitch in video and declare that's proof of lying. I mean, it's just not the case. That's just not how lying is
Why do they
determined.
need chroma key layering in a live broadcast?
I don't think they do any chroma key layering in a live
Well,
broadcast
why do
unless
they
they're
use
doing
it
some
then?
sort of trick for kids.
Why do they use it then?
I don't think that they do.
Well,
Which
when the
clip are you
chroma
talking
key
about?
fails on a live broadcast,
Like which one?
it's been shown many times,
Just
Mr. Beach.
just tell me which one. Give me a keyword so I know which one you're talking about. I've seen them all.
Yeah, you've seen them all. Well, there you go.
You can't have.
So which one?
You can't have. That's bullshit. Sorry.
Okay, fine. So then I haven't seen them all. So which one are you talking about? Let's see if I've seen it.
Clearly, it will be the ones you haven't seen.
Well, I'm asking, there's a case you're saying are you talking about the one where George Bush is being wheeled in front of it and there's a white grid and the guy's throwing something in front of a blue screen with a white grid? Is that the one you're talking
That's
about?
one of many. Yeah, that's one of many.
Well, that's not a case of chroma key failing, obviously. You know, if you guys want to know what that is or what's going on there, I can tell you. But
Well,
I'm curious to hear what your real claim is.
That particular example, no. But I mean, you can see that they're using chroma key there.
No, they're not using chroma key there. That's not a chroma key screen.
They're in
That's not even
denial.
remotely
Yeah,
a chroma
they're
key.
using a blue screen.
I've used that screen before. I know exactly what that screen is. And I've also done lots of chroma key in my life. I'm telling you, A, you'd never use something with those markings on it. And B, I've actually used that particular screen. I can tell you exactly what it's for. And it has nothing to do with chroma keying.
Well, they may have.
It's to do experiments. I'll tell you what it's for. It's for doing experiments where you need to measure on a video something that's moving too fast for you to measure by eye. So it's like a physics room. I used it in my physics class where you get your camera, you ramp it up as fast as you can get at highest shutter speed, and you throw a ball or something or whatever it was. We were doing trebuchets that we built. This was in high school, and you want to be able to slow the film down so that you can say, oh, the peak of this ball was this line here. Okay, so then you can. It's a way to measure, like with high precision, something moving too fast. So you do that with your little experiment. It's a measuring tool. It's not a used for chroma keying at all.
You finished?
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. Well, I never did get to say that sentence that you were interrupting me on.
Wow. Nice little monologue there.
Oh, I'm just telling you what that example that you told me was proof of lying was. And I know it's not proof of lying.
That wasn't me. That was Plague, by the way.
Well, you were also saying it. No?
Well, NASA do lie. It has been shown many, many times, and one of the ways that they have been shown to be lying is through their use of chroma key.
So I think you're too hard on NASA. I don't think that they've been shown to be lying.
Too hard on NASA.
No. Oh, can I just finish the sentence for Christ's sake, dude? But even if we were to eliminate all the NASA photos because you have an issue with them, we still have 76 other agencies who have the same pictures that show you the same thing. So you don't have to trust NASA.
Why?
Every single one of these agencies are just as much liars.
Why are you using this space fallacy as one of your evidence bags?
It's not a fallacy, and
It
it's
is
because
a
you were
fallacy.
saying things. No, it's not. I'm sorry, it's not. You guys can wish it to be a fallacy all you want, but it doesn't make it a fallacy.
You're just in denial. Simple.
I think that you guys have convinced yourself that something false is true, and your bias is so intense that you can't see that you're wrong.
No, we're right.
Listen to the
You're the
argument
one that's wrong, buddy.
You've yet. I'll tell you what. Why don't you prove to me that NASA lied about anything?
They have been shown. They have been shown.
I mean, I just
many times.
I just showed you how one of them wasn't the came. Give me another one.
Just showed.
Give me one that I can have a good answer for.
You just verbalize something, which is your opinion.
What about the Challenger? What about the Challenger?
All the astronauts are still alive.
So you really believe that, huh?
It's proven.
Oh, it's proven. Is it? See, I love the use of proven you guys have.
Yeah, they actually go up to the guy.
I have a question for you.
That's just one.
They went up to the guy and what happened?
They actually interviewed the same guy that they said died on the Challenger crash.
And what did he say about
Same guy for like an hour. It's on YouTube. Go get it.
I've seen it. And what did he say? Did he say, yeah, it was me?
Oh, well, yeah, of course. Yeah, it's me. No, he didn't say it. He said, no, it's not me.
Yeah.
If you've seen it, you know what it says.
Turn up.
So
You've got mic issues.
Oh, sorry, my bad.
So if you guys just think about this with common sense. So first of all, one thing that doesn't make sense about this idea is why would NASA do this? What was the goal they had in blowing up their own ship?
Genuinely, you can't think of a single reason why they would lie.
I'm asking you why they would blow up their own shuttle.
Well, can you?
Can you just tell me if it's
the
so
magic
obvious?
trick. They got to keep the magic trick alive.
How does that help a magic trick? Blowing up your own shuttle. How does that help anything?
It's
Well,
just an illusion.
You think it helps the funding?
You gotta mix it up. You can't just have every rocket launch go as planned. You gotta get dramatic.
You think that they blew it up just because they were bored? They needed some more drama. That's the reason you have for why they did it.
Well,
All right, let's put it aside then.
NASA's science is basic satanic science in a way.
God, come on. You're not really going to do this, are you?
I love it.
Anyway,
I love how you guys' best argument is just to say, "Come on." This is the kind of evidence you guys have. So let's look at this with common sense, because I haven't even gotten to the important part of the Challenger, which is I haven't gotten to the important part of the Challenger, which is this. Oh my God! Why can you not stop interrupting, Primate?
Back. Because space is a fallacy.
I don't think space is a fallacy. I think that's absurd thing to say.
Let's get it back to something.
Somebody needs to fix that echo because this is too distracting. Well, let's be clear about something. You made a claim that NASA was a liar. I've asked for any proof that NASA was a liar.
It's all out there.
Called out. The things that were called out were absurd, and I started to identify how it is that you can tell that these are not examples of lying. And as soon as I start to do that, you panic and want to change the subject.
I'm not panicking. It's
well, then why do you want to change the subject?
It's not
we have a
something
clear
that is,
subject on the table.
Provable. You're claiming pictures. You're claiming a space agency that is a government agency, and you know nobody trusts the government. So why would we trust a government agency?
Trust the government. Of course,
you trust the government.
Yeah, sometimes.
Sometimes.
Do I think the government is always telling the truth? No.
On your government.
Do I think that they're always lying? No. Both of those are equally absurd things to hold. You seem to hold the idea that they're always lying, that everything they say has to be false in some way or another, and it's just not the case.
Scott, where do you get that from? He's just like that. That's a blatant fallacy, right? Did he just say that, or did you just completely make that up?
I just completely made that up.
That's how he acts. That's how he acts. He thinks that the government, everything they say is a lie, and that's not true. Is that not true? But you don't think everything the government says is a lie?
I haven't heard everything the government said.
Have you ever heard them not lie?
Not everything the government says applies to me.
Okay, but is everything they say a lie?
I do know they are lying about a space fallacy. I know.
How do you know that? How do you know that? You know, the reason you gave me was because they are the government, which certainly implies that you think that they always lie.
Because your space is a fallacy.
How do you know that?
Your space.
I mean, we have so much evidence that it's real.
There is no.
I heard you say it the first time. There's tons of evidence. There's pictures. There's eyewitness testimony. People go and come back and tell us about it.
Only a child would
you realize?
Of
There's
course.
pictures of Santa
Can I
Claus.
say that again? I couldn't understand you. What did you say? People what? The guy that was talking right there. Something about bullshit. What?
I said only a child would believe that bullshit.
Well, it's not true, actually. Lots and lots of adults think that space is real. In fact, I would contend that I would contend that most people, I think the vast majority of people would say the other way around, hold the position that you hold is childish. But whether it's childish or not, the truth is that space is real. The truth is that we can go there. The truth is we have tons and tons of evidence that this is the case.
Oh, this is all shite,
on some level,
if you were the son of an astronaut,
how so?
If you were the son of an astronaut, what are you doing on YouTube?
You don't think I'm the son of an astronaut? I'm not on YouTube 24 hours a day. I work.
You don't sound like you're working.
No, he just sits in
Well,
Jim's
I'm not.
server
I'm
all
not
day.
working right now. It's still only 8 a.m. my time, and I'm not gonna probably work till about noon or 1. So I'm good.
Yeah, you're
Maybe
the son of an
for 2.
actor.
We'll see. You think I'm not the son of an astronaut? Really? You think I'm lying about that?
I don't know you, but you're on YouTube all the time.
No, I'm not. I'm on YouTube probably maybe 3-4 hours a day. Usually from midnight to 4. During the day, it's hard to find me. In fact, it's very unusual. I'm here
What
right
do you do
now.
on YouTube, Vici? I've never seen you.
Oh, I'm actually not. I'm sorry. Not YouTube, but Discord is what he really means.
3-4 hours a day.
Yeah, probably something like 2 to 3, something like that. Usually,
Yeah,
I'm
okay.
put it on when I'm here, and I'll start doing work, or I'll start doing the game, or
So
it just
who was I
they don't
chatting
come
with
at all.
in who was I having that back and forth with in Gem server earlier then, if it wasn't you?
No, that was me. I usually get around midnight. I've been here
Well,
for a long time.
that was like 5 hours
I'm
ago.
way past.
And you
I
say
know I'm
you're on
way
here
past my normal
2 or
time because of
3
you.
hours.
Because we set a time that was late. Yes, I said usually here 2 or 3 hours. This is definitely a long day for me right now.
2 or 3 hours.
I'm not saying it's never happened.
Okay. Well, anyway, let's get away from
I don't know what you think. I don't know what you think. Hold on, let me respond to the guy though. I don't know what you think would make it so. I don't know what would make my life so magical if I was the son of an astronaut that I would never come on Discord, but it's just not the case. my dad happened to go to space twice. He worked for NASA. He was an astronaut. It ain't that big a deal. It certainly doesn't mean that I'm not like you or.
Like I told you, he was MK Ultra. That's what he believes happened, but that's not reality.
It's a pretty silly thing to think, though. I mean, it'd be hard to MK Ultra somebody to really believe that, don't you think? I mean, it's kind of the world of science fiction and fantasy.
Maybe you're MK Ultra.
I mean, I knew the guy. Maybe, but I knew the guy, right? Like,
maybe,
I'm telling
you are, man.
You know, the level of achievement and intelligence. I mean, these guys are not the kind of guys that
I know they're not the kind of guys
swayed.
who sit around on Discord 24 hours a day.
Well, I don't think anyone sits on Discord 24 hours a day. I don't know who you are, but I think you'll find that
you keep saying you don't know who I am, but you do know who I am.
Yeah. I don't know who you are. You have to tell me your name.
Yeah, you do.
I don't know who you are, dude. I do not recognize your voice. I'm sorry. I don't know if are you a big deal? Who is it?
Bigger than you, man.
I don't doubt it, but I don't know your name. Who are you? Just tell me your name. I'll probably recognize it if you say it.
Well, I guess you can't see anything. My name is Cleary.
Cleary. No, I don't know you. I'm sorry. I just don't.
Yeah, that's fine. That's great. I'm glad. I like it that way.
I'm not paying enough attention.
Yeah,
it's probably because I'm not paying enough attention. I mean, we've never talked before, have we?
We've
you and I have.
We texted back and forth,
but I've never heard your voice, right?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't think so. I think we must have just missed each other somehow. But in any event, I don't know why you're being so rude to me, given that we don't know each other.
Rude? I'm not being rude. You're talking about childhood fantasies.
Yeah, you are.
You don't recognize that?
No, you're telling me that I'm a liar or that I'm MK Ultra. That's rude.
I said you're MK Ultra. I didn't say you were a liar. Your father was MK Ultra. You did. Apparently, you are too.
No, first you said that, and then when I started pushing on it, you switched to saying, "Well, he's probably MK Ultra," and then you switched to saying, "I'm probably MK Ultra."
At no point did he say that either one of you were liars, Mr. Veach.
At the very beginning, he did. He said your dad is an actor. He said your dad is an actor.
You heard that?
If my dad is an actor and not an astronaut, then he would be lying, wouldn't he?
Well, you're
That's
in
the
Hollywood,
definition of a liar, isn't it?
That would seem more like a family tradition since you're in Hollywood.
See, he's doing it again, calling him a liar again.
Yeah, well, you are in Hollywood, aren't you?
Yeah, see,
you're a member.
I'm in Hollywood,
of that
so why
guild
is that
of
a
actors,
lie?
aren't you?
That's not a lie, but to say that my dad is an actor is a lie.
What's that guild? That actors guild in Hollywood? I forgot what it's called.
SAG. SAG is what you're thinking.
When your dad was an astronaut, did he act like an astronaut or did he act like a plumber?
He acted like a nerd.
Okay, so he's an actor.
They're all super nerdy. I'm telling you, the astronaut, the idea of an astronaut that you have maybe from Apollo 13.
My neighbor was an
astronaut. Could not be
astronaut.
farther from the truth.
My neighbor was an astronaut.
Okay, who was it?
That before.
Who was he?
Clifford. You said they probably knew each other.
Oh yeah, I remember you. Then I remember you.
Yeah, you do.
The guy from Florida, right? You're from Florida. Well, yeah, you were reasonable before. Why are you being a dick now?
You think I'm being a dick because you're losing. That's all right though.
Yeah. How am I losing? You're calling my dad a liar, and you're calling me a liar. The tradition is a liar. How is that losing? You're being insulting, is what's happening.
He never called your dad a liar now, did he?
Well, let me ask you a question. When somebody says your dad was
He
an
never
actor, when I
called
say he
your
was an
dad
astronaut,
a liar.
let me ask you a question. When he says your dad was an actor, when I say he was an astronaut, what is he saying there?
Did he
was
say
He's
acting
saying your
like an
dad was
astronaut.
is a
pretending.
liar?
Your dad was pretending to be something that he wasn't he? Is that what the implication of that is?
Everyone acts.
That is calling somebody a liar.
Everyone acts all day long.
That's what he's doing. That's the point
Like
of it.
you're acting
If you guys want to,
defensive,
you can
right?
juvenilely.
Are
I mean,
you,
this is the most juvenile sort of
Are you
defense I've ever
defensive
heard.
and you got to
It's
talk
the
over
I
everything?
didn't use the word
Is that what you
liar,
do? Is you just
but
talk
if
over
you're
everything?
saying something,
Because you're so defensive.
oh my god, are you trying to interrupt
Are
again?
you just acting defensive?
You guys just interrupt nonstop, huh?
Yeah, like you. I
Go
talk
ahead.
over you. You talk over me. That's what we
I
do.
was talking first, dude. I
Are
hate
you
to break it to
acting
you, but I was
defensive or
responding
are you
first.
defensive? Are you defensive or are you
I'm
acting
defensive about the fact that you are calling my father and I a liar.
No, I said you're MK Ultra.
No, you said liar at first.
He never
MK
called him
Ultra.
a liar.
Okay, so can I finish what I was saying in response to that? Right now, here I go, and you're going to interrupt or not.
Is
It's
it
up
of
to you.
anything? Is it
But
of
when
value
somebody
at all?
says, "Oh my God, look at," see, Primate, this is the problem. This is not 1v1. This is as soon as I start talking,
Go
somebody's
back. Go
interrupting.
back, you little. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, you little what? You guys are incredibly childish. This is you guys really need to grow the fuck up. So let me just make the response that I've been trying to make with not getting interrupted for like 5 minutes.
Don't talk over him. No,
Let's leave space alone.
It's super easy.
Let's bring it
so
back.
when I say my dad was an astronaut, you say, oh my God, can I just
You wrecked yourself. You wrecked yourself when you said the bottom of your ball was fatter than the top. Which is up and down.
I think it is. That's the way it is.
Cleary.
That's an all-boy spheroid.
Cleary.
That's stupid.
Why?
Yeah.
Why would that be stupid, Cleary? Why?
Go ahead,
I mean, seriously, listen to the level of argument you have. You never have another answer after I say why. You just assert stuff, and then whenever I say why, it's dead silence. And then you'll repeat, oh, it's just dumb.
Primate's trying to talk.
Have you finished now?
Oh, now you want Primate to talk, huh, Cleary?
Have you finished, Mr. Beach?
No, okay, buddy. I see how it is.
I could go all day, but he's trying to talk. Why don't you let him talk?
Then let's hear the why. Let's hear your why.
Mr. Beach, have you finished?
Hold on, Primate. I'm talking to Cleary now. You didn't want to have a 1v1. Remember, you wanted everybody to jump in. Well, you're going to make a 1v1 or not? This is not a 1v1. Everyone's jumping in, and they're distracting me, so I'm distracted now. So clearly, you're going to give me an answer to why?
wanted a 1v1, Mr.
You
Beach.
couldn't seem to pull that off, could you, Primate? Now, if you want to pull it off, go ahead. But until then, I'm distracted by Cleary right now. So you want to give me a why, Cleary?
There's no up and down in space, just like you said. So what's the bottom of
I
your
agree.
ball?
There's no up and down in space.
Why is the bottom of your ball fatter than the top of your ball when there's no up and down in space? If you don't understand that, you're a little child.
When I say bottom, I mean the traditional sort of metric of north top,
you
south
fucked
bottom.
yourself with
That's the way
that.
the globes are.
There's no backing out of it.
How is that fucking myself?
You fucked yourself.
Oh my God, you're serious? One of the hemispheres is fatter than the other. We call it the bottom usually because that's the way we make the globes.
Why is the bottom fatter?
Yeah. I think it has to do with the mass that's there. So there's the mass below the hold on, and the centrifugal force of the spin. So it has to do both with how much mass is right there and how much spin is happening.
And it's going where? Down?
Out.
Out? Down?
So out. So that slightly the bottom, or I should say the southern half, is because of rotation, it's actually pushed out because of centrifugal force slightly more than the top.
Yeah.
Ever so slightly.
What's logical about that, man?
Well, it's perfectly logical. I mean, everything.
Anyway,
What's illogical about it?
I don't want to walk all over Primate because you're pretty easy.
What's illogical about it?
I don't want to destroy you.
You don't have anything
What's
to say.
What's illogical about a spinning water ball?
Yeah.
Floating?
Well, yeah, what's illogical about the idea that the spin is causing the bottom to be slightly more out than the top?
The bottom.
The southern half.
Spinning space pair.
The southern half. That's just so ignorant, man. That's all I got. Go ahead,
That's all you ever have, huh? You just have the assertions, but never have any reasons to back them up.
So have you finished your monologue now, Mr. Beach?
It's hardly a monologue. That was a dialogue.
No, it was hardly a dialogue. You just overspoke.
If it was a monologue, I would have gotten through more than one sentence, don't you think?
Are you ready to bring it back down to Earth now?
I suppose. Let's see if you can do it.
Right. So you hold to your pear-shaped oblate sphere.
That's my best guess.
That's your best
That's my
guess.
best guess. Yeah. I couldn't say that 100% certainty. But I believe that to be the case. I suspect this is the case. I have confidence in it.
So apart from all your fantasy space missions and everything, it's your best guess. It's now
I don't think the
2020.
space missions are fantasy. I think they're reality, and I think there's a lot of evidence in support of that.
So this is still your best guess, having all this.
Yes, I can't say with absolute certainty. I can't prove it. I don't think anything can be proven in this kind of way. But I
Okay.
think that there's really good evidence, very compelling evidence to believe that this is the case. That's what I believe.
So
Yes.
you are standing on your oblate pear-shaped spheroid, and how does the geometry present itself to you? What happens?
Well, like, what happens?
What happens to your oblate spheroid from your feet as it moves away from you? Not moves away from you, but as distance increases away from you.
As distance increases away from me, what are you asking exactly? Are you asking like what Rakia was posting on that meme? Yeah.
I'm asking you, how does your spheroid present itself to you in the distance away from your feet?
The distance it lowers. It appears lower to me, ever so slightly, and long distance away from me.
Right. Okay. So what are you saying? As you've got the horizon 360 degrees around you, does the point where your feet are, does it drop down and away from you?
Yep. And you can see that with light at a long enough distance.
No, you can't. No, you can't.
You can. You can see the horizon drop.
No, that's rubbish. A theodolite.
I promise you can. I've seen it.
What is the working limitations of a theodolite?
There isn't a working limitation with respect to checking for horizon drop.
What is the
checking for distance?
Working limitations of a theodolite?
Depends on the task you're doing, but when checking for a horizon drop, there's not any limitations that are relevant.
Designed to check
oh my
for
God,
horizon
you're such an
drop?
interrupter. Yeah, it can be used to check for horizon drop, of course.
No, it can't, because you're checking an apparent position.
I promise you it can't. All you have to do is
horizon.
make it level, aim it at horizon, and see what the drop is.
Vici, it's rubbish. You cannot do that.
You
with
keep saying
an
stuff like that, but you don't
position.
ever have any reasons to argue for it.
Well, anyway, back to your
what you need to do is you need to take measurements over a long period of time.
Space ball.
Go ahead. Okay.
Okay.
Are you gonna make any arguments? Because so far, what you guys have said.
You know my argument.
Question.
You know
say
my
it,
argument.
Say it's false, and then never give a reason for why it's false. I'm waiting for some actual substance here.
Level. Ready? Is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
Okay, so what does your definition of level have to do with anything?
It's not my definition.
What does any definition of level have to do with the reality of the shape of the planet?
What reality are you referring to?
I'm saying
your reality
the actual physical.
It's never been measured.
Saying the actual physical. I'm saying the actual physical substance that we're standing on. It is either shaped one way or the other. And what is the definition of some word? Any word.
It has never been
that reality.
measured.
Sure, it's been measured. I've told you how we measured it before.
Your curve, your claimed curve. What would the rate of your curve be?
I don't know what the exact rate is, but there's a rate. You can figure it out.
Have a guess. Go on. Just wild stab in the dark. An approximation will do.
I don't know what the rate is. I really don't, but I'm sure we can figure it out. It has a curve. I mean, look, it's spherical roughly.
Yeah.
So it's going to be, it's going to have the rate of drop that's whatever the curve is based on its radius. We'd have to.
So what is the radius? What is the radius?
Remind me, 4,000 miles.
Sorry.
I'm guessing. I don't have all this stuff at the fingertips, but I think 4,000 miles is my memory. Serves right.
4,000 miles.
Yeah, I think.
Right.
I mean, correct me. I'm not saying I'm an expert on memorizing stuff, so I think it's 4,000 miles.
You think?
I think.
But you just said it's.
Do you know the answer?
Not.
Do you know
why
the answer?
Do I care? Why do I care?
Well, you're asking me, and then you are. If I think, I'm telling you, that's my best. That's the way I remember it. Do you know what it is? Because if you know, just correct me.
Yeah, I don't care.
Okay, that'll do. Then why are you acting like that? What you think?
Well, you pretend to be this.
I don't pretend to be that though.
You
I
know,
don't pretend to be a guru. I've told you this 100 times.
Thought
Stop strawmanning me,
you
dude.
would
I don't
hold
pretend to be a guru of
the
anything.
dimensions of
I
where
tell
you
you over and
think
over
you
that I
live.
don't know anything for certain. I don't know things for certain. I am very ready to admit the things that I don't know. I say that this is a belief of mine. I say that's a belief I hold with high confidence.
A belief. Yeah,
the last thing I'll ever say, the last thing you'll ever find me saying, Primate, is I know for a fact that this is definitely true, or you're absolutely wrong, or this is absolutely right. I never say any of that stuff because I don't claim to be a guru. So stop projecting.
I'm not projecting.
Well, then why are you calling me? Why are you saying you claim to be the space guru? Like, when have I ever claimed
You're
that?
the one that's saying that everything from space is real. And
I believe that those things are real. I think you guys are too hard on NASA.
Space
And I
gives you
ask for
the
evidence of lying, and I can't get it. So it only
claim to
reaffirms
be
that
true.
belief. So I'm sorry. Say that again.
And yet, yeah, well, stop talking over me, and you might be
Well, you
able
were
to hear
talking
what
over
I'm
me.
saying.
You started talking over me, dude.
Right. Anyway, by the by, this is all by the by, right? What is the radius of your claimed?
Hold on. Are you going to respond to what I just said or not?
What?
Why are you calling me a space guru if I've never claimed making those kinds of claims?
You hold everything NASA tells you to be true.
I have no reason to suspect that NASA is lying about anything of substance. I've never caught them in a lie. I've never heard anyone else. There you go. We're talking to me again.
For me, you are a space guru because you suck all their bullshit up.
That doesn't make
opinion.
me. So first of all,
it's
guru would imply that I'm an expert, not somebody who is a believer. Okay, I heard your opinion, but guru. But guru would imply that I'm an expert. I've heard your opinion, dude. Can I finish saying something or not? Like, what is the problem? What are you so afraid of?
I'm not afraid of anything.
A guru would imply that I'm an expert. Oh my Christ. Okay, well then let me speak. A guru would imply that I'm an expert, right? That's what you say when someone's a guru. He's a blender guru. He knows all about blender. He's a this guru. He knows all about that subject. So you're saying that because yes, I'm saying that. So when you call me a guru, you're trying to say that I claim to be an expert, and I'm saying I don't claim to be an expert. So stop projecting that onto me.
Finished?
I mean, can you not strawman just for a little bit?
I'm not strawmanning you. For me, you are an expert. You claim to know more about space than I do. For me, you are an expert. You are a
I've never
guru.
once made that claim.
For me,
I've never made that claim.
For me, you are.
For all I know, you know tons more than I do. I've never made that claim. Why do you lie, dude?
I'm not lying. I'm just saying.
Well, when
my
did I make a claim that I know more about space than you do?
I'm telling you, you do, because you suck.
I don't. I mean, I don't know what you know. I don't know what you know.
Oh, dude, why? Why? Anyway, back to your claim.
So because you're saying, let me just get this straight. Because you're saying that I know, you say that I know more than you know. You think I need to know everything.
Why are you turning this into a discussion about who knows what? You know this, who doesn't know that?
I think it's probably because you keep strawmanning and keep rejecting me with insults.
Why can you not have a discussion about the reason why you are here?
Well, we can talk about that if you want to stop projecting and insulting.
Being a straight line on a horizontal plane. Why do you have to keep going into the weeds and running away from that?
Let's talk about level for a second. Let's talk about level then. If you want to stop projecting and strawmanning, we can talk about level. Why does the definition of a word matter to you?
I don't care about the definition. I'm talking about the actual physicalities of a level line. I don't care about definitions. Definitions are just words in books that people put there.
Yeah.
I am talking about the physicality of a level line.
Okay, so if you want to define level,
no definition.
Okay, so if we're saying that level is a straight line that has no bend in it from any frame of reference,
that is a straight line.
Then we've defined it.
A straight line does not bend.
Okay, so it's a straight. You're saying the same thing, right? Okay, hold on. So you're saying the same thing, right?
What's the same thing?
Level and straight.
When did I say that level and straight are the same thing? When did I make that assertion?
30 seconds ago.
No, I said level is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
So level is a straight line. Is level straight or not in your mind?
Level is a straight line.
Okay.
A straight line
you didn't say
does
that.
not have to be level. Do I need to
A straight
spell
line
it
does
out
not have to
for
be
you?
level. Okay, what's the no, yeah, you do. What's the case of a straight line not being level?
Draw a straight line at a 45-degree angle. That is not level. Duh.
So okay, so level, so level in your mind is perpendicular to what?
Plumb.
Okay, all right. That's true for me too. You know, that's true for the globe. The difference, I guess, we have is that you think that plumb line is parallel every spot that you get it at, and I think that plumb line is not parallel in any two spots, right?
Well, it's not a plane then, is it? If you think it's not parallel,
well, it makes a plane.
It's not a plane.
No, it makes a plane. The plane is the plane that's perpendicular to the plumb at any given point. So every point has its own plane.
That's ridiculous.
Why? It's just math.
No. How can a point be a plane?
No, look, at a point, you can drop a plumb. The plane is the plane that is perpendicular to that plumb line. Now, that will be dependent upon which point you drop the plumb. You're saying in your world model, all the plumbs are parallel, and so that plane is the same plane for everyone. I'm saying for every point on Earth, you drop a plumb, it's going to be a unique vector compared to the other plumbs. It'll have its own plane, which is the plane perpendicular to the line, and it'll be unique to that point on Earth.
So everybody carries around their own plane.
Well, every plane, a horizontal plane, which if we mean every time you have a plane that's perpendicular to a gravity vector, it's dependent upon the direction of the gravity vector, which is dependent upon where you're standing.
Why are you bringing gravity?
You just really can't not interrupt.
Why are you bringing gravity into this?
Because that's what creates a plumb. The plumb is parallel to gravity.
Up and down.
A plumb is parallel to gravity at that point. That's how you get the plumb.
Gravity.
Yeah. So the gravity vector and the plumb vector are the same thing.
It's a straight up
and down. In the same direction.
It's a straight up and down.
Yeah. So that's the gravity vector at that point.
No, gravity's got nothing to do with the plumb line, has it?
Well, I'm telling you, the plumb is parallel to the gravity vector at any given point.
It's a position. It's got nothing to do with gravity.
I'm saying, listen, it's a line, right?
And it is
perpendicular
to horizontal.
I'm telling you.
There is nothing to do with gravity.
Can you not let me finish, dude?
You're bringing something into this. We're talking about geometry. We're not talking about your fantasy.
I'm correcting something. You're saying something is not true, and I'm telling you why it's true.
You're not correcting anything.
Well, can I just?
You have brought your fantasy force of gravity into this discussion when we're talking about geometry.
You're telling me that it's not related, and I'm telling you that it is related.
It's not related.
What are you so scared of? Just let me finish what I'm saying, dude.
I'm not scared of anything. Why are you
then let me finish. Relax and let me finish the
discussion
sentence, for Christ's sake.
It doesn't need to be there.
It does need to be there. It's part of what we're discussing.
It doesn't need to be there, Mr. Veach.
Yes, it does. Why are you dictating to me what I can and can't speak about? Like, don't just relax. Let me finish what I'm saying, and you can respond to it. I'll let you finish when you're done.
Mr. Veach.
Of course it does. In this case, we're talking about the geometry of the planet. And then gravity does matter.
No, it doesn't.
Look, dude, you're being absurd. Like, how controlling can you be? You interrupt every time I talk, and now you want to tell me I can't say certain words.
Says the man who talks over everybody.
I don't, though. I start talking, and then you immediately start interrupting, and then you call that me talking over you. Hello?
How much dead air do you need?
I'm done. Like, obviously, I'm done. You spike. So if you start, I will not start over talking you. Then when I'm done, I start talking, you're going to start over talking me.
Why are you bringing gravity into a discussion about geometry?
Because it is relevant to what a plumb line is.
No, it's not.
Why are you trying to censor me?
Why am I censor you? How am I censoring you?
Well, as soon as I started answering or making my point, you overtalked me. And now you won't let me finish saying what I was trying to say because you don't want to hear the word gravity.
How much dead air did I just give you?
It's not. What do you mean dead air? What does dead air have to do with anything? Are you suggesting that you're not going to interrupt me and I should go back to the original point? You need to say that explicitly if that's what I'm supposed to read your mind about, dude.
Have you got a point to make or not?
I just did. If you want me to go back and make that point because of the dead air, you need to say that explicitly like an adult. I can't read your mind. That's my point.
Right. So there is no point bringing gravity into a discussion about geometry.
I think there is a point.
No, there isn't. Why do you need to? We're talking about geometry. We are talking about the geometrics.
You're talking about the geometry of the Earth.
No, we are talking about only geometry.
I thought we were talking about the geometry of the Earth.
We are talking about level being a straight line on a horizontal plane. This is geometry. What does this have to do with the shape of
it has to do with the fact that horizontal is defined as perpendicular to a plumb line. A plumb line is something referring to what? How do you define horizontal then? I mean, this isn't that hard, dude. I don't know why you can't just let me finish and then say what you want to say. Jeez.
Horizontal
yes,
is perpendicular to a plumb.
Is that not right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a plumb line is, what is that a reference to? Why is it called a plumb line? That's a reference to a real world activity. That's not a reference to geometry. We don't have plumb lines of geometry.
Hang on, back that up. Hang on. Back that up a bit. What did you just say?
Why you're talking about it in reference to a plumb line. A plumb line is a real world activity, like a thing that you can hold in your hands and you can drop a plum and get a plum reading. It's a physical measurement. Well, plums don't exist as far as I know.
Which gives you what?
Don't exist in geometry. Hold on, don't exist in abstract. Can I just finish, dude? They don't exist in abstract geometry. It's a real world thing, and in the real world, a plumb is related to gravity because gravity's in the real world too.
Right, a plumb line.
That's why I was originally bringing it up.
A plumb line gives you what?
A plumb line is parallel to the vector of gravity.
No. That is rubbish. What does a plumb line give you?
Why do you think that's rubbish? Yeah, what it gives you is the vector of gravity at that spot.
No.
Why do you think that's rubbish?
Mr. Veach, what does a plumb line give you?
I just told you it gives you a vector for gravity at that point.
It gives you a vertical line, you donut.
Which is a vector for gravity at that point.
That's all a plumb line does, is gives you a vertical line.
How do you think a plumb line works? But that vertical line is a vector for gravity.
Gravity has got nothing to do with geometry. You know that.
We're not talking about when you bring plums into it. When you bring plums into it, you're not talking about geometry anymore. You're talking about surveying.
Not really.
Yes, you are.
But
yes, really.
If you want to go to surveying, we can go there in a second.
Well, you're talking about drawing a plumb. So you're either talking about carpentry.
We can go to surveying in a second.
Or surveying, but you aren't talking about geometry anymore. You're talking about the real world.
Dropping a plumb line gives you a horizontal line.
And the horizontal line, as you define it.
Perpendicular to that horizontal line is what?
The gravity vector.
Perpendicular to the horizontal line is the gravity vector. Are you sure about that?
Yeah. Yeah, if you drop a plumb, that's going to be parallel to the gravity vector. If you define a horizontal line as being perpendicular to that plumb line, then you define it as being perpendicular to the gravity vector. And you say that level is a line on that plane, right? That's fine. So that line is also perpendicular to the gravity vector, which is perpendicular to the plumb. This isn't hard, dude.
But it is when you bring unnecessary.
Well, here's the difference between our two models.
Into a discussion about
but here's
geometry.
Here's the difference though between our two models.
I don't have a model.
In your model,
I don't have a model. Stop building a straw man.
Okay, just relax and let me finish, dude. Can you just let me finish?
No, because you're building a straw man.
Okay, whatever you want to call it. I don't care what we call it. I'm not trying to gotcha you. I'm just trying to express a differential.
I don't have a model.
Okay, so not on your model.
Mr. Veach.
So not on your model.
Level.
I heard you. So not on your model.
Line on a horizontal plane. That is.
Can I finish what I'm trying to say, Primate? Like you're being obnoxious.
No. You're trying to build a straw man, Mr. Veach.
I'm not. I'm trying to tell you the difference between the way we view the world. What is wrong with that? Like, why are you so scared of hearing the difference?
I need you to tell me how you think I view the world.
I'm telling you the difference in how we view the world.
Why do I need you to tell me how you think I view the world?
I don't. I'm telling you the difference between
Well,
the way
then
we
shut
view the
up.
world. No, I'm not going to shut up. I'm telling you the difference in our worldviews. What's wrong with that? Why are you stopping everything I try to say? It's not a straw man, dude. It's the truth. You would agree, I think. What do you think the difference is in our world models? How about that? You tell me what you think they are.
You have a fantasy ball you think you live on that's flying through an infinite fucking vacuum.
Okay, so do you need to get more specific and relevant to our discussion at hand? Can you narrow it down to what do you think the difference regarding these lines are in our two worlds?
Well, let's keep this. Oh, you are such an obfuscator.
Dude,
Right.
I'm not the one stopping you from saying what you want to say. You're the one, every time I say anything, you're interrupting me, telling me I can't say it, and then preventing me from saying it. Now, I have to break it to you. That makes you the obfuscator.
How much dead air have I given you to make points?
You're not, dead air doesn't mean jack, dude. What is it? What do you mean by dead air? Because you don't say anything, I'm supposed to now suddenly realize what?
Spaces.
You need to tell me if you're going to stop interrupting me. You need to say, okay, my bad. Go ahead and say the thing you wanted to say 5 minutes ago.
Oh, and you just keep talking and talking and talking. Nice one. Anyway, let's. Can you construct a horizontal line using surveying equipment?
Sure. You can construct a horizontal line doing a bunch of different ways. How could you not use surveying?
Yeah. Say to me how you would construct a surveyed straight line. So it needs to be a horizontal line, not just straight, but horizontal. Sorry?
I don't really know. I don't really know how the tools work, to be honest with you. I'm not a surveyor.
In your estimation, is this possible over a mile?
Sure. I just said so.
Well, you think it's possible to construct a horizontal line over a mile?
I think you can define, look, when you say construct, I think you mean define.
Well,
is that a mistake?
Construct, yeah, it's the same. Yeah. Well,
so you can define a horizontal line to be infinitely long. I don't think mile is a problem. So if you drop, this is what I think that you mean. Again, I'm not a surveyor, and I don't know if you have some specific idea in mind. You drop a plumb line down. The line that makes, you stay whatever's perpendicular to it, you call the horizontal plane. And that's true. That plane is now defined infinitely in all directions.
Infinitely in all directions, right. Okay, that's good. So just as an example, I'm just putting this out there as an example to you, right? If I had a stake in the ground and I marked a line on that stake in the ground with a pencil, and I had another stake at a half-mile distance and a third stake at a mile distance, then I could project the line of that pencil on a horizontal plane over all three stakes in the ground over a mile distance, yeah?
The horizontal plane that would make up that line would be different than the horizontal plane at either of the two stakes.
Sorry?
The horizontal plane that consists of having those 2 points in it would be a different plane than the one you define, the stakes. The stakes as points.
So
the horizontal plane that has both of those points.
You're telling me
I didn't get to finish it, but go ahead.
You're contradicting what you said earlier. You said that I could project.
I mean, you didn't even let me finish the sentence, so how do you know what I was saying?
My apologies. Carry on.
The horizontal plane that contains the 2 points of the stakes would be a different horizontal plane than we defined a minute ago using a plumb line. It would not be the same horizontal line that we got for the first stake, or where you go over to the next stake, it would not be the same horizontal line for that one. They would intersect each other at those 2 points. These, there'd be 3 planes in total. There'd be 2 intersection points, but none of them would be the same plane.
So you started off by saying to me that a surveyor can survey a horizontal plane over any distance. And then you told me, hang on, I gave you the courtesy of letting you finish. Do the same for me.
I don't think you have been, but okay.
Do the same for me.
You haven't been doing that, dude, but okay.
I just did. I even apologized.
The first time now you
I
wanted
even
to crow about what a great
apologized.
non-interrupter you are. I got you.
I even apologized to you.
My apologies,
starting
Mr.
to
Primate.
speak.
Go ahead, please.
Now, when I asked you to first define that line, I said I take a pencil, I mark a mark on a post. You told me that a surveyor could extend that line indefinitely in any direction as a horizontal plane.
Right.
Now, I've just asked you to project that line onto 3 posts, 1.5 mile distance and one at a full mile distance, to project the same plane.
You can't do that.
You told me it's not possible.
Yeah,
Why
it's not
did you
possible.
contradict yourself?
It's not a contradiction. What's the contradiction?
That you told me that a surveyor can project the original line any distance in any direction, and I asked you to project that very same line onto 2 other posts, 1.5 mile distance, one at a full mile distance, and you told me it's not possible.
It's not possible because the problem is that when we say any direction, it didn't mean that you can rotate this thing around. I mean, you could if you want, I guess, but it's no longer the same
about
plane.
A rotation?
I meant that. Well, you are, but let me finish. What I meant was, or what I think is obvious, is that if you take a point or a line and you extend the line out in any direction, that is 2 dimensions, then that plane can go off infinitely long, right? Now that plane is just one 2D plane, right? It's thin, it's wide, but there are things that could be above it and things that could be below it, right?
That's all I'm asking for.
No matter how long it goes, no matter how far it goes, it's not going to intersect things that are below or above it.
That's all
and the
I'm
things that you're talking
for.
about are below it.
That's all I'm asking for.
What are you asking?
That plane to be extended to those wooden posts, 1.5 mile
to
distance.
Extend it, to get them to touch the wooden posts, you'd have to rotate the plane.
How long do you think those wooden posts are? Those wooden posts.
I'm assuming they're all the same height.
That they can
1 foot each, let's say.
Let's call them a foot each.
That's what I said.
I'll tell you what. Let's call them 2 foot each, just for ease.
Okay, 2.
Right, just for ease.
Okay.
Okay. These stakes are 2 foot high. I draw a line at 6 inches above the ground.
Okay.
And I would like that line projected on a horizontal plane to the other 2 posts.
Do you want it to intersect the posts at the same spot?
I want a horizontal line.
Do you want it to intersect the posts at the same spot on the posts?
I don't give a fuck. I want a horizontal line.
Well, it's horizontal by definition. You've defined it to be horizontal. So I'm asking you, if you want to intersect
a horizontal plane, is it possible to do?
It depends on how far away they are. If you all you care about is intersecting the post at some spot.
Man, did I not say
I'm giving you an answer. Stop freaking out, dude. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. Listen to me. If you're trying to have it intersect the post at any point, then it will depend on how far away they are. If you want to intersect at the same spot, which is what I assumed you'd want, because that's what makes sense.
I don't give a fuck. I want a horizontal plane.
Okay, well, do you care if it intersects the post at all?
I want a horizontal plane. That's all I'm interested in.
All right, well, so your plane is going to intersect if you're at 1 mile and 2 miles. Your plane is going to intersect the first post and miss the second post. No, wait. Yeah, I know. It'll intersect the first post pretty high, and it'll miss the second post entirely.
How do you know that if you don't know your rate of curvature?
It's a rule of thumb.
How do you know that if you don't know your rate of curvature?
It's a rule of thumb I have.
What, that a post that far away won't
No, I just have memorized the first
projected onto it.
No, I have the first few memorized, so it's not like I know the actual rate. I just know that
the first few what?
The droppage for the first few miles. It's like 16, 32, and 64, I think.
So you have it memorized now, but you didn't know it half an hour ago.
I don't know the rate. I just have the first few memorized. So I couldn't tell you what the rate actually is. But I happen to know, like, the first mile is 8 inches, I think. Second mile is 32.
we are slowly slowly establishing that you are a contradictory fool here.
No, we're not actually. We're
Yeah, we
establishing
are.
that you were trying to look. No, we're not. I told
Yeah,
you
we
what
are.
I'm saying is not contradictory. I don't know what
Yes,
the
it
rate is.
is. You
No,
don't know
I
what the
don't know
rate
the
is, but
rate. I
suddenly
don't
you
know
do
what
know
it
what the
is.
rate is.
But I
Okay.
memorized 3 numbers. That doesn't tell me the rate, does it? See, this is the problem: is you don't want to
Anyway,
derail stuff, but you want to
back-
insult in derailing ways.
Back to
So why don't you just be honest for once? Why don't you just be real? Why don't you be real and be a man about what you say? You're going to call me. If you're going to say it contradicts, actually make an argument that it contradicts, but it doesn't, does it? These are 2 different things. That's not the rate. I don't know the rate. I only know a few of the early ones. And that's not the rate. Those are just memorized numbers. It's called droppage.
You finished?
I guess. I mean, are you going to respond?
To what?
To what I just said.
What? You now claim to have memorized numbers. So what?
Yeah, exactly. So I claim to memorize numbers. So why are you calling that a contradiction to knowing the rate?
You memorized numbers. Well done. Well done. Anyway,
yeah,
back to our
why are you calling that a contradiction to what I said earlier?
Back to
why are you calling that? Why is it that you want to insult and then run from it when you get confronted?
I'm not running from it. You're just really tired.
Well, you are. You don't even want to address it now. You're scared to even now that you got called on it, and now that I'm pointing out the absurdity of your insult, you suddenly are like, what? I don't. What are you talking about? Okay, you memorize numbers, as if that's not what you were saying.
It wasn't an insult. Why do you take it as an insult?
It was an insult. You called me a contradictory liar.
No, I told you were contradicting yourself, which you were, because earlier you claimed.
You're revealing yourself as a contradictory liar, is what you said.
Earlier you claimed not to know what the rate of curve was, and now you are giving numbers that add up to your rate of curve. So that is a contradiction.
I don't know if they do. I told you there were rules.
That is a direct contradiction in your earlier claim.
It's not a direct contradiction because knowing the first 3 drops does not give me the rate of curve. Especially when those aren't even accurate. Those are just rules of thumb. Hold on. Don't anyway Vici me. Like, if you're going to say it, then I'm going to respond. And you should be a man and stand there and actually have a response for it. Stop trying to run every time you get confronted.
I'm not running.
Seriously, it's unmanly.
Why are you?
It is unmanly, my friend.
Yeah,
I'm not. You just need to deal with the fact that if you're going to call me a contradictory liar, you're going to have to back it up. And if your best backup is that I have some droppages you did earlier. I have some droppages that are memorized. That does not mean that I know the rate of curvature.
When did I?
You know that doesn't mean I know the rate of curvature. So how you said you're a contradictory liar earlier?
No, I said you contradicted yourself.
No,
it's
you
not
called me
my
a
problem if
contradictory liar.
you are hard of hearing.
You said, and I quote, "You are slowly revealing yourself to be a contradictory liar."
A contradictory fool is what I actually said.
No, you said liar.
Listen back to the recording later.
Yeah, okay.
It was fool.
So,
I called you a contradictory
if you want to try to get insults like that in, you're going to have to be able to back them up. And we both know that's a nonsense insult. The fact that I have 2 or 3 rules of thumb memorized does not mean I know the rate of the rate of the curvature.
Vici.
If I knew the rate of the curvature, I could give you the answer for any distance, couldn't I?
Vici.
Prime 80.
Have you finished?
Are you going to be a man and respond?
To what? You contradicted yourself, and
I did. How's that a contradiction? Why you want to say it when you know?
Let's get back to this level.
Are you going to just lie this entire time? How many lies are you going to tell with me sitting here? It is a lie. Listen to yourself.
How many lies am I going to tell when you?
You said it's a contradiction. I've told you that it's not. I've told you why it's not, and you can't even respond. You're just going to try to keep lying. Why don't we? I mean, like, how many lies do you plan to tell? Why don't you just try being honest? You know, if something is a contradiction, say it is. But if it isn't, don't say it is.
Have you finished?
It's not hard. No, I don't. I mean, I don't know. It depends on what you do next.
What would you like me to do to appease your ego?
I would like you to stop lying about me and stop insulting me.
I'm not lying about you. And
you said that I contradicted myself when I didn't.
That wasn't a lie. You did contradict yourself. And
that's not true because one is not the equivalent of the other.
And you do constantly contradict yourself. Yes, you do.
If that's your idea of contradiction, then clearly you're lying. Because
so now you're accusing me of lying.
Hold on.
Okay. Well,
yes,
this
you are
is
lying.
fair.
Okay,
this is fair. Okay.
So those 3 numbers are the same thing as the rate of curvature, is it?
This is fair now, Vici. Let's move on. You think I've lied to you, you've lied to me.
But is it the rate of curvature, Primate, is my question for you. knowing those three numbers,
the
are they
numbers
the
you
rate of
gave
curvature?
me
Yeah.
is I don't know. I don't know anything about your rate of curvature. It's why would I?
Well, so
Why
they
would I want
aren't.
to know that?
Rate of curvature is a fundamentally different concept. One which those they don't even accurate numbers. So the last thing they're going to do is give me the correct rate of curvature.
So why do you use them if they're not accurate?
Rule of thumb. I told you.
Oh, rule of thumb.
Easy to
Okay,
remember.
so we'll just go with your rule of thumb.
And they're approximately correct, I think.
Vici, we'll just go with your rule of thumb, just to make you feel better. Okay? Just to make you feel better.
No, you know, it doesn't make me feel better. I'm just telling you why it is they get used. They're easy to remember. They're rules of thumb. There's nothing wrong with that. You can do whatever you want. If you know the exact numbers, use the exact numbers. I just don't happen to know.
Why would I care?
I don't know why you care about anything. You so far haven't made any arguments of substance. You haven't made any claims that make any sense. You haven't even really taken a position.
Level is a
God
straight
only
line.
knows what you care about.
Do you not listen?
You say level straight? Okay, I can go with that definition.
No.
What does that do for you, though?
Listen. Close your mouth and open your ears. Level is a straight line on a horizontal plane.
Okay.
Right, you got it?
I've heard you. What does that do for you now?
Well, you said I didn't make a claim. I haven't made a claim. Well, I kind of have.
Okay, so I take it back. That's a great claim. To me, it's a definition. I accept that definition.
It's not a definition,
now what?
Is it? It's not a definition.
Yeah, you define what level is.
Let's go back to our projected line over our 3 stakes, shall we?
Let me ask you a question. Do you think that the horizontal plane that I defined is the same plane at each of those 3 points?
The horizontal plane that you defined?
Yeah, you asked me to just say how would I think a surveyor can come up with a horizontal plane. I defined a way to do it for you.
I'm asking a surveyor to make one horizontal plane over the 3 points.
But I'm asking you, I gave you a method for doing it. And I'm asking you if you think that method that I gave that we've been using, is that method going to give you the same horizontal plane at 3 different points, at those 3 states?
How many horizontal planes does your method give me?
Well, per point, 1.
And overall?
Per point. However many points you measure at.
Let's say the 3 points that I outlined earlier. One
3 different planes.
Well, no, that's not what I want then, is it?
I don't know, but I'm telling you that's the method and that's what it's going to yield in my mind. I think you think differently.
Why are you mental? Are you saying that a surveyor can't
I'm not
give
mental.
me...
You need to stop insulting.
Are you saying that a surveyor can't give me a horizontal plane projected over a mile that I'm asking for?
That question, I don't understand your question.
You don't understand my question, right? Let me hang on.
So
you don't understand
let
my
me
question.
clarify what my answer is. Yeah. So what he can do is, if you have points that are collinear, then they make a horizontal plane by definition.
No. I'm just after one horizontal plane, Mr. Beach.
Yeah, okay, so
are you saying that surveyors can't do their job?
What do you mean by that? Listen to what I'm saying. If you have 3 points that are collinear, then you can have a horizontal plane that will touch them all. But if your points are not collinear, then you can have a hard time getting a line to touch them all, much less a plane.
Right, I'll rephrase it.
So in the case that I described, how about this? In the case of the method I described for creating the horizontal plane, where you drop a plumb, you find what's parallel to that, perpendicular to that plumb. In the way I understand the shape of the planet, when you drop a plumb in 3 different spots, you're going to get 3 different planes. You understand that?
This is bullshit. This isn't what I want. I want one plane.
I don't know what you want.
Well, why is this so difficult for you to understand? Do you not live in the real world?
Well, you asked me for how to define the plane, and I'm telling you the consequences of how we define the plane.
No, Mr. Beach. I'm telling you I want one plane projected over 3 stakes at half-mile distances.
What you actually did was say, how would you imagine a surveyor would make a horizontal plane? And I told you.
A horizontal plane. A singular identifier.
So if I make Right. So if you're standing at a point, you get one plane for that point.
Projected over the 3 points. A plane projected
Yeah,
over
you
the
can't.
3
The
points.
method I'm telling you doesn't magically do that. The method I'm
What do you mean
telling
it
you gets
doesn't
you a
magically
unique
do
plane.
that? So you telling me
I'm telling
a
you right now what I
surveyor
mean by
can't
that.
do his
What
job?
it does. Listen to what I'm telling you. What it does is give you a unique horizontal plane that's perpendicular to the gravity vector and tangent to the surface.
About your
So it's
geometry,
unique for the
nothing
point.
to do with gravity. And you're telling me that a
I
surveyor...
didn't talk about gravity. I didn't say anything about
You said
gravity
the
right
gravity
there.
vector.
So it's unique. No, I said the plumb
No,
line.
you said the
Go back and listen to the
gravity
tape.
vector.
All right, well,
Again,
then fine.
lying.
Replace when I say gravity with plumb line. Then if you say that's wrong, I don't care about quibbling. But it's going to give you a horizontal plane is going to be perpendicular to the plumb line. It's going to be tangent to the surface at the point.
Where did you pull a tangent from?
Well, I'm just if we're fixing it in height somewhere.
Why did you just pull a tangent?
I just told
out
you
of
we're
your
fixing
arse?
it in height somewhere. It's just helpful. It's the equivalent of you saying 6 inches.
Did you pull a tangent out of your arse?
I just told you. It's helpful to know where the height is. If you want to say 6 inches, that's fine too.
Don't need a tangent.
When you said, it cuts to 6 inches.
Don't need a tangent. We are just talking about one horizontal plane.
Put the horizontal plane at what height? What height above the ground would you like to put the height the plane at? What height?
Doesn't matter.
6 inches, like you said before.
Doesn't matter. 6 inches.
Doesn't matter. Why is tangent not good enough?
6 inches. That'll do.
Okay, so it's not tangent to the ground. It's 6 inches above the ground. Okay, are you happy? Like how can you be so goofy?
We don't have
the method I'm telling you.
Don't need a tangent, do
the
we?
method I'm telling. It doesn't matter whether you need it or not. You have to pick a height. I was just giving you a way to measure the height.
So why did you pull a tangent? Why did you pull a tangent out of thin air?
Because we have to give it a height, and I was giving it 0 instead of your 6 inches. But I don't care that much. If you want 6 inches, that's fine. We can keep.
Did I not tell you 6 inches about?
You did. You did. It just makes more sense to me to say tangent. It's not a trick.
It's not a tangent.
Why do you think it's so scary?
It's not a tangent.
If you don't want to make a tangent, we don't have to. Relax, dude. I've told you that like 9 times.
Mr. Beach, it's
make
not
it 6
a tangent.
Inches, fine. It's above the ground 6 inches. Okay. Yes. Hey, primate. It's okay. 6 inches above the ground, not a tangent. Okay. Now, as I was saying.
Well done.
So at any plumb line, we define that line, that horizontal plane, as 6 inches above the ground, perpendicular to the plumb line. Now, I'm telling you that in my model of the world, every time you move, you're going to get a different plane. So you say that's not what I want, but how am I supposed to help with that? That is what I think is reality.
So you are saying that a surveyor cannot do their job properly?
That's not what I'm saying. I'm
yes,
saying
it is.
I'm saying a surveyor would agree with you.
Shush. A minute. I let you speak. You let me speak. It's
the
way it
you
works.
got done speaking, and I started speaking.
You let me speak. You are telling me that a surveyor cannot project a horizontal plane over a mile.
No.
This is what a surveyor does for their work. This is how they earn their living. Not only can they do it, but they get it millimeter accurate.
You clearly don't understand what I'm saying. What I'm saying is something a surveyor will tell you also. What I'm saying is true.
Oh, so you know
a surveyor would tell you it's true. Oh my God, you're going to interrupt? Yeah, I know enough about surveying to know that a surveyor would tell you this is true. The way that we're finding this plane, we've just dictated it, right? You can imagine how we're doing it. So I don't know if you're not visualizing it properly or what. Now, if the world was actually flat, then it would be the same plane at the 2 points. But because I believe the world to be round, I'm telling you it's going to be a different plane.
Have you finished?
I don't know. Have I?
Right, let me put it to you a different way, Mr. Beach. We have 3 stakes. One at point A, one at half mile, one at a mile. If I go to the one in the middle and draw a line 6 inches above the ground, can I project that line half a mile one way, half a mile the other way, to have a horizontal plane projected at a half mile distance?
You can do it at infinite distance.
So that horizontal plane can now be projected onto those 2 other stakes.
Depends on what you mean by onto those other stakes. If you're close enough to them, they'll intersect the stakes. Hold on, let me finish what I'm saying. Let me say what I'm saying. Let me finish what I'm saying before you interrupt again, as always.
Are you mental?
If you mean by that you want them to intersect the states, then all you have to do is make sure the stakes are tall enough. That's not really what you mean, is it? That's not what you actually want. You don't want just intersection.
That will do.
Okay. So you can intersect any stakes at any distance if they're tall enough.
Okay. So now we have a horizontal plane.
I'm not sure what you mean by that. But
from the center point, projected at a half-mile distance, either way, we have one horizontal plane.
Yes, but it does not intersect perpendicularly to all 3 points, only the middle point. Maybe if the stakes are tall enough, it'll intersect those stakes at an angle.
It'll intersect those stakes at an angle.
Assuming those stakes are following the plumb line. Is that true?
But they're perpendicular to the horizontal plane we've just formed, remember?
No,
the plumb line is horizontal, is perpendicular to that horizontal.
Only the one in the middle.
Only
the one in the middle. The ones on the ends would not be perpendicular to it.
You can put a plumb anywhere along a horizontal plane.
The plums are not parallel depending upon where you're standing.
Can you prove this?
This is a
really bold claim. This is a really bold claim.
This is the same claim that we've been making for like an hour. Where have you been?
You're saying the plumb lines aren't parallel.
Yes, primate. I've been saying that for an hour. Where you have, all those times you were talking and not hearing me. That's exactly what I've been telling you. The plumb lines, in my worldview,
on the same horizontal.
They're not on the same horizontal. If you mean by horizontal that they are perpendicular. Not if that's what you mean by it. If that's not what you mean by it, they are not.
They are on the same horizontal plane.
I don't know what you mean by that phrase unless you're going to define it more specifically. Then you're not making any sense. If you mean that the lines are perpendicular to the plane, then they are not. If you mean that they can intersect them if the stakes are tall enough, then okay. But what does that mean? What value is that?
They intersect the stakes.
Just think it through.
No, I'm just trying to figure out what you're talking about, because I've said to you that the plumb lines are perpendicular to the horizontal plane. This is what plumb lines are. They are perpendicular to a horizontal.
So that means that there can't be one plumb line. I'm sorry, one plane that is perpendicular to all 3 plumbs in my worldview.
In your worldview,
you imagine a world
where
they're all the same.
I'm glad you stated in your
my worldview, where the Earth is a sphere. I've said this like 19 times, dude. You really have been so over talking me. You're not listening. So this is just your opinion. So in my worldview, primate, each of these plumbs are not parallel. They're not the same line, and so each one of them has its own unique horizontal plane associated with it. They're not the same plane. I told you this about 40 times now.
Right. Okay. So you can't put any more perpendiculars to that horizontal.
You can't put any more perpendiculars to the horizontal. You can put as many perpendiculars as you want.
Along the horizontal plane?
Yes, the plane is infinitely big. You can perpendicular anywhere on one.
Right, okay, well done, yeah. I'll go with that.
But those aren't going to be plumbs everywhere. That's the difference.
But a plumb line is perpendicular to the horizontal. So you've just contradicted yourself, Mr. Beach.
No, I haven't, dude. Those aren't plumb lines. If you make a perpendicular line to the horizontal, other than the plumb
Beachy, man,
plumbs, are they?
You are tying yourself.
Just listen to yourself, dude. It's not hard. It's like you've never done geometry.
Tying yourself.
So take a plane, right? Let me ask you a question. Take a plane. Listen to yourself. Take a plane. How many different ways can you put a perpendicular line to the plane? How many spots can you do that at?
It's infinite along that plane.
That's right. That's correct. So that's what I'm saying.
And there'll all be plums. There'll all be perpendicular.
How you define the plane. Hold on. Just listen. No matter how you define the plane, there's an infinite number of places you can put a horizontal line. That doesn't make them all plums, though, does it? Because plums is something in the real world. Plum is something that we actually made and measured.
Whoa, shush. You said there's an infinite amount of places you can put a horizontal line on a plane.
I've been kind to you so far. I've been really sweet.
You said there's an infinite amount of places you can put a horizontal line on a plane.
That's what you said to me.
Do you want to restate?
I asked you how many spots I asked you how many spots can you drop a perpendicular line to a
No,
horizontal
you said
plane?
horizontal.
You said infinite.
You said horizontal
You
line
said infinite.
on a plane.
All right, how many times can you drop a perpendicular line to a horizontal plane?
You need me to answer that again?
Well, you just said that's not what I asked. How many places can you drop a perpendicular line that's to a horizontal plane?
You want me
An
to
infinite
say
number of places, right?
You want me to say infinite
Correct.
again?
Well, do you disagree or agree?
You didn't get it the first time. Okay.
You just claimed that that's not what I asked. You just said that what I asked was a horizontal to a horizontal.
No. You made the statement that you can have an infinite amount of horizontals to a horizontal
You
plane.
can't. I don't think I did, but if I did, I was talking about perpendiculars. Although technically that's true. Also, you can have an infinite number
Yeah, but it's not
of horizontal
what we're
lines on a
talking
plane
about, is
too.
it? It may well be true.
I
But it's
agree. I
not what
agree.
we're
So
talking about.
clearly, I meant perpendicular. If I even did that, it's unclear to me at this point.
Can you do me a favour? Can you actually state what you mean next time? Thank you.
Yes. How many places can you drop a perpendicular line on a horizontal plane? An infinite number of places.
An infinite. Thank you.
That's what I'm telling you. So if that's the case, they're not
you don't
all
need to
plums.
tell me. I know that, but they are all.
Well,
plums,
you don't
aren't
seem
they?
to know that because you think that they're all now plums, and they're not.
A perpendicular to the horizontal is a plumb line.
No, it's not all plums. Plums are something in the real world.
You're mental.
So, no, I'm not. Listen, we have an infinitely wide horizontal plane, and we can drop. That means it's infinitely wide. That means it goes all the way out to Alpha Centauri. Are you telling me that you think that if you find a perpendicular line to that plane at Alpha Centauri, it's a plumb line? And I'm mental? You call that a plumb line?
Out to where?
Alpha Centauri. You call that a plumb line?
To where?
I said Alpha Centauri. You call that a plumb line? Is that what you would call a plumb line way out
Where's
there?
that? Is that near Chicago or?
I was just focused on the question. Stop obfuscating.
I'm asking
would you call
where
it a plumb
you want
line?
that horizontal plane to go.
If you would call it a plumb line, just
is that
say
near
it so I can know
Chicago?
how mental you are. No, it's not. It's pretty far away. Would you call that a plumb line or not,
How far
dude?
away is that?
I don't know. It's far. Would you call it a plumb line or not?
Is it perpendicular to a horizontal
primate.
plane?
This is who you are, isn't it? This is who you are, laid bare right here.
Is it
this is who you are, laid bare.
perpendicular to a horizontal plane?
Yeah, it's a perpendicular horizontal plane.
It's a
we
plumb
defined.
line. It's a plumb then, isn't it?
You're crazy. You're the crazy one then.
You're the one that wants to go all the way up to, where was it? Somewhere near Boston?
Alpha Centauri. Yeah.
Where's that?
I don't know. It's far away.
Is it near Boston?
I don't think it's near any city in America.
Boston's far away from me.
Really far.
But Boston's really far away.
You gotta think beyond. You gotta think like beyond the scale of solar system. You gotta think really far.
Oh, so it's proper fantasy land. Proper fantasy land.
How? I mean, I guess, but how? I mean, what is your level of education? How far did you? You've never heard of Alpha Centauri?
Alpha and who?
Alpha Centauri.
Is that South America?
You did take science at some point, yeah?
Is that South America?
I'm asking if you took science. Have you never heard of it before, ever? Really?
Heard of what?
Alpha Centauri.
Alpha is like the first letter of the Greek alphabet, isn't it?
So can I ask you, I'm curious,
Centauri.
What is the highest level of science that you got through?
What's that got to do with anything? That is absolute bullshit question.
To hear that you've never heard of Alpha Centauri.
That is absolute. We're not talking about science.
I know it's a bullshit question, but I know that you only ask really good questions like, is it near Boston?
And
that's a solid question.
We're not talking about
sorry,
science.
The Mayan question for you isn't nearly as solid as that one is. But I'm curious, what is the highest level that you got? I just want to know how. What am I dealing with there?
I got to use a card.
Stop interrupting,
Check
dude.
out
Just
the live
answer
stream.
question,
got
man.
to use a card. Get in.
I think that needs to go in the debate discussions, Bev.
So what are we dealing with here, Primate? Just tell me the truth.
Well, you've just gone Fantasyland out to Alpha Centauri.
Centauri. What is that word? Centauri. You think it's you're the one. You're a grown man pretending to not know what Alpha Centauri is. Alpha Centauri. What was that word again? Centauri. I've never heard of this before.
Have you finished your little space fantasy again?
Have you finished with your pretending to be dumber than a third grader?
Have you finished with your little space fantasy, Mr. Beach?
Have you finished with pretending to be dumb?
Mr. Beach, can we get
Mr.
back
Primate.
to this horizontal plane that's been set over 3 stakes in the ground? It's kind of more real than your.
Can we move on from you pretending to be dumb? That would be great.
Mr. Beach, if you want to carry on with the ad homs, feel free. I don't care.
I'm saying that you were pretending to be dumb. That's hardly an ad hom.
Mr. Beach.
Look, like guys, sorry to come in, but this is a bit childish. You know what I mean? I'm here, I'm listening in. I come here like occasionally, and I like to hear a nice conversation. But like, can we just stop it and like get on with with the topic rather than?
I would like nothing more.
Great.
Oh, at last, Mr. Beach. Can we go back to the horrors?
As soon as I say something like that, I get that.
Can we go back to the horizontal line that we've now projected over 3 posts, Mr.
Let's
Beach?
try and do it. I think he makes a good point. If people are listening, we owe it to them to be more mature. So let's try and do it without being obnoxious and rude and silly.
Okay.
I think it's both of us, to be honest with you.
Do
I'll take my responsibility.
Do you think you can do that?
Can you just hold on? Yes, I do. I think I take responsibility for my side of it. I think it's both of us, and I think let's just challenge ourselves to be non-interrupting and be real. Okay.
Okay. That's mighty fine of you, Mr. Beach.
Cool.
Do you think you can live up to that statement? Or
I'm going to do my best if you will too.
Right. Okay, then. Let's try, shall we?
Okay.
So getting back to our horizontal line that we have now projected over 3 stakes in the ground. You agree that it is possible for a surveyor to project a horizontal plane over a mile on 3 stakes?
Again, that plane will not be perpendicular to the plumb at those 3 points.
Mr. Veach, I want a horizontal plane. Which part of this don't you understand? And it is a surveyor's job to make sure things are level and horizontal.
I'm going to say it again. The plane that you define off the first point will not be perpendicular to the plumb at point 2 or point 3.
This is your claim, yeah. This is your.
That's right. This is my worldview.
Your worldview.
It's a consequence of sphericity.
A consequence of sphericity. Oh, you mean your oblate pear-shaped spheroid, yeah?
That's what I mean.
Right. Okay. So then, you know what a water level is, then, yeah?
No, what's a water level?
You don't know
what a sea level?
No. A water level.
The device, the tool that uses water in a bubble?
No, that's a spirit level.
No. Is the one that has the 2 prongs with water in them and you got to get them even?
Prongs?
2 tubes that go up and they have water in it.
Can you see my video camera?
No.
You might be able to use that, DP.
Hang on, I just need to.
I've been.
Can you not?
I've been drawing along. So you've got
drawing along.
Yeah, you've got your guy, and he's got his benchmark at 6 inches above something, and we've transposed that across two extra posts, and we've also got 3 plumb lines there, right? At each point. It's it's handy, right?
I think it is, but I don't think Mr. Beach quite agrees with your drawing there, Bev.
Well, no, the drawing's all right. I mean, it's a horizontal line across the top, and there's a...
Can you see Bev's camera?
I can't. Can you just describe real quick what it is?
You can't see Bev's camera. All you have to do is click on his
I have to move back into the other room in order to see the screen.
All you have to do is click on his feed, Mr. Beach. Mr. Beach,
I'm not in the right room.
All you have to do is click on his feed.
I'm not in the same room as the computer.
Oh, that's
I'm not in the same room as the computer.
That's not my problem, is it?
Is it important that I do this?
Yeah, well, it's not that important, but it's basically everything that you've just described, right? Now, there's 3 plumb lines there, and you've said one of them is vertical. The other 2, the question is, what happens at the other 2?
So it's like a thing with the water levels in all three prongs or whatever, and you get those to be level.
The water level's just at the side. We use that to establish the horizontal all the way across. That's out of the picture now.
Okay. All right, I'll come look.
Sorry, did you cut out for me there, Mr. Veach? Did you say that you're going to look?
Yeah, he's coming into the other room. He said, I think. Yeah.
Oh, is he? So he's going to look.
Okay.
Can you see that picture there? Is it the right way round for you, DP?
Yeah, Bev's live stream.
Live stream?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I think it's the right way. It's pretty small. Hold on. Try and get it big.
Is this good? Press the big button.
Yeah, it looks good for me, Bev. Everything's the right way round. On the level.live there.
Big. Okay, yeah, I got it. Yep. Oh, I see the two things on the ends. That's the water level.
That's the water level. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, that's what I was imagining. That's what I mean by prongs. Those things sticking up.
Vials. We call them vials. They're glass vials. Okay. Or the glass or plastic. It doesn't really matter.
Alrighty, so go on. So I know what a water level is now.
Right. So the water level is a tool for establishing a horizontal plane.
For approximating a plane, yeah.
No, it's not approximating the tool.
Of course it is.
No. It is more accurate over distance than any modern day tool.
That may be the case. It's still an approximation.
To what degree?
You were on the vertical. The plumb.
Well, the reason I call it an approximation was a couple of things.
The water level here. It's quite a nice little switch.
Sorry, what did you say?
You were on the plums. You were explaining before. The plumb.
Yeah.
Well, can you see on there that guy that he had a horizontal, and we've made that benchmark plus 6 inches across all of them posts. It's been marked the same horizontal from where that guy is on the left. Right?
The one that says I want a horizontal?
Yeah. And they've made a horizontal all the way across. Right, now that guy there, you've just said, that plumb line is hitting that horizontal that you've just made vertical. It's got it wrote on it.
So
this plumb is vertical.
Mm-hmm.
Right, now.
So what about that though?
What the plumb in the middle that's also on that horizontal? What's that one? What's that plumb?
Those 3 plums right there.
Yeah.
All have almost the same line, but they're not parallel to each other. They have slightly different lines, I claim.
Right. So which one of them isn't perpendicular to that horizontal that you've just set?
The horizontal is defined by the water level. I'm going to guess it'd be the 2 ones on the far sides.
Right, so those 2 plums that are over there aren't perpendicular to that horizontal. Right. Well, what
on the 2 far sides.
The water level just goes from one side to the other, though, doesn't it?
The water level line is supposed to, you just draw a horizontal between the 2 vials, right?
Yeah, it establishes a equal line, doesn't it? You know how a water level works, right?
Is on the 2 spots, right? Sorry, I was talking with. Say what you said again, or I could repeat my question.
I couldn't. Go on. Repeat your question.
The horizontal line that you're referring to is determined by drawing a line between where the 2 water levels are, right?
No, it was just a horizontal. Like you just went through this with DP before. You established a horizontal line.
I understand.
Yeah,
using this tool here, the way you do it is by drawing a line between the 2 water levels. Is that correct or incorrect?
Well, you could just, as you're going all the way along, you could just draw a line at the top of the water level, couldn't you, as you're moving? Right? You could do that, right? Or you could just go to the position that you want to establish the elevation at and look at the water level, right?
the horizontal line that tool allows you to draw, is it a line between the two water levels in the vials? Is that true or false?
I don't know. You tell me. What do you think it is? It's a horizontal line.
You, it's your tool.
It's a horizontal line. What do you think a horizontal line is, Scott?
I'm asking you if that's the one you're talking about, the one that you get by doing that.
Well, you can use whatever tool you want to use, Scott. I mean, you were the one that just did it before.
But if I'm using this tool, I'm trying to understand the tool.
Yeah. You want to use a water level, or do you want to use an auto level, or a theodolite, or GPS, or what do you want to use to establish a horizontal?
I'm legitimately asking you how to use the tool. That's all I'm asking. I'm not trying to catch you out. I just want to know, is this horizontal line that we're talking about, is it the one that would get by drawing the line between the two levels? That's it.
It's a horizontal line, yeah. Do you not know what a horizontal line is now? Have you forgot? Or
there's a lot of different horizontal lines that we can define. It depends on how we define them or what the tool's set up to do.
It's okay,
I'm
right.
asking you if I use
you want me
this
to tell you
tool,
then, right? Imagine, seeing as you seem to be really, really stuck at understanding what a horizontal is. A horizontal is perpendicular to a vertical, right? Which means it's level. That at each end of the line, right? If you imagine 2 points, because that's what separates a line, right? Each of those points would be no higher than the other one. That's what establishes a horizontal level line, isn't it?
It depends on how you define higher.
I mean, like higher or lower, like not higher and not lower, like sort of in between on the same level, Scott. That's
so if
quite
you were
simple.
to do that in real life, if you were to do that in real life using say a plumb line, you get the perpendicular to the plumb line. Create a horizontal line.
Yeah, that's not how you get a horizontal in reality. You don't bother with a plumb line.
Well, that's
if
how
you're
we've
after
been
a
doing it.
horizontal.
That's how we've been talking about it. All right. So what's wrong with doing it that way?
What?
Getting the horizontal as a perpendicular to the plumb.
Whatever. I mean, geometrically, yeah.
Okay, so that's what. So if you do that, okay. So if you have a plumb line, you get the horizontal plane, which is the plane defined that is perpendicular to this plumb.
Yep.
And you do this on Earth. You do this in real life.
Yep.
You're going to get a plane that you can imagine. And you can imagine the thing going out on all directions.
I don't need to imagine it. The surveyors actually do that.
Just hold on. Let me finish what I'm saying, please.
Go.
The points on that plane, well, I have to imagine it. So I imagine this plane.
Yep.
The points on that plane are going to get higher and higher as they move away from me because we define height on Earth as a distance from some center mass.
Okay. So what is your baseline? What's your datum then? What do you imagine as that datum? Where is that established?
What do you mean?
The datum, whatever you're saying, your height above something. Yeah, you said height above. Yeah. Right. Well, what's the datum? Yeah. What do you do?
What's
that?
The baseline?
I mean, pardon?
Average mean sea levels, the traditional baseline of 0.
Okay. All right. So that level.
You can pick whatever you want, though.
Right. That's mean sea level, though.
Yeah, mean sea level is the traditional baseline of 0. You can pick whatever you want, but that's generally what we use.
Yeah. That's definitely what we use in the UK. Mean sea level, datum. That would be the 0 datum, right? Now, anything above that, like if you say 1 foot, what would you call it? Elevation, right? Because altitude's in the air and elevation's on the ground, right?
Whatever.
So that elevation would be 1 foot vertical. Change in height above that thing, yeah?
Sure, at any given point, sure.
Okay. So the it's a vertical change in distance then, right? Above that datum.
What is?
Elevation. Elevation is a vertical
elevation is measured
change
at any point on the Earth. The elevation is measured as distance to the center of the Earth.
No, it's the mean the elevation. It's above that mean sea level, above that datum, right?
Yeah, at any given point, wherever that would be.
Above that, right, but it's a vertical change from that datum.
It's a vertical change from that datum.
Yeah, elevation, that's how they measure an elevation change, is a vertical change.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right.
So, the vertical is like a plumb bob, right?
No.
What?
What do you mean exactly?
I mean, like,
The
how
vertical-
do you
when you say
establish
vertical,
a
that throws me off.
vertical in reality? How do you do that?
You just draw.
No,
when
no.
you say, I think vertical means something different for maybe Brits than it does for me, because the word
Go on,
vertical
then.
just means up and down to me.
Yeah, it's a
So
it's
you
a
mean when you
reality
draw
term,
a
right?
what?
It's a reality term. Like,
It's not. Honestly, it's not even a noun though. I don't really use vertical as a noun. This
you
just
not?
throws me off. No, it's an
Oh.
adjective. Like something can be vertical, but I don't really call anything a vertical.
Yeah, but
That's
vertical is
the
like a
only thing I
real
think of as
life
vertical
position,
is how high
isn't
can you
it?
jump?
It's a real life position.
Like what's
right?
his vertical? 72 inches. That tells me how high you can jump. But I would never point at something and say, "Oh, see that vertical over there?" I would never. That throws
Well, that's
me
how
off.
you measure it,
Is that
isn't
what
it?
you're saying?
Vertical.
Is that a noun?
It's a position that you can look at in reality, right?
It's a up and down thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Orientation.
Yeah, like
is what I would
like a
call it.
reality thing.
It's like an orientation.
Yeah. A vertical and a horizontal, like it's perpendicular.
So if you have a plumb,
yeah,
then we would say the plumb is vertical.
Yep.
And we would say that the horizontal is perpendicular to that plumb.
Yeah. Brilliant. Now, level being no higher or lower on each end, because I mean that's what you'd have to give us that, wouldn't you? Even, balance.
No, that's the problem. Is that that's the problem. Is that this is where we start to diverge. Because remember, in my worldview, that horizontal line is different depending upon where you're standing.
Now,
and in
level
my worldview, height is defined
being no higher
is defined using the
or
plumb
lower
wherever you're standing
on each end.
And because it's
I mean, that's
different
what
in every
you'd
point,
have to give us
take
that, wouldn't you?
into account.
Even,
But that means
balance.
your horizontal, that's the problem. Is height changes as you extend away. That's the problem. Is that this is where we start to
changes from what?
Because remember, in my worldview, it gets higher and higher because the horizontal line is different depending upon where you're standing.
But it is a like the elevation is a difference in a vertical change in height, right?
Sure.
Right.
Sure.
Okay. So
an even point elevation is the distance from the plumb line, the verticalness of the plumb line from that point down to the ground.
Yeah.
What that distance is the measure of its altitude or its elevation.
Brilliant. So you would agree that it would be a good idea to check, just to make sure that level was horizontal, right? They're the same thing.
What do you mean? You can define them as the same thing if you want.
Yeah, they are the same thing, aren't they?
You can define them that way. We can define them however we want.
Oh, right. Well, but defining things doesn't change reality, does it?
That's right.
Okay.
No.
So the way we define things usually revolves around the way reality works. That works best.
Not really.
No?
You'd be surprised.
Okay, so
why do I drive on a parkway and park in a driveway? You often find that it doesn't revolve around reality.
But we are just talking about level and horizontal here.
Yeah, I think that level
and those
horizontal
Americanisms don't apply to the rest of the world. So
yeah, I'm sure they don't. But you must have equivalent ones, right?
No.
No.
I'm sure you do.
We drive in a driveway and walk on a footpath.
No, but I'm saying you have equivalent ones in terms of like the wordplay. Like, isn't Churchill famous for coming up with a bunch of these?
I haven't got a clue. Have you read a book?
And you're going off in the weeds,
yeah.
Beachy. So get back on topic.
I think Churchill. Okay, well, I think Churchill is famous for these, so you gotta look it up. But so in any event, the problem here is that defining either the Earth is curved or it's flat. If it's flat, then the way that you're talking about these things, these horizontal planes are all going to be the same plane. If it's curved, though, every single spot's going to have its own plumb. It's not going to be parallel to other plumbs, and the horizon this horizontal that we define is going to be its own unique plane. It's not going to be the same as any of the other planes. But so in any event, and so most of the way we talk about this is that it can be talked about equivalently in both models. Either the Earth is curved or it's flat. What it means if it's flat, in terms of what's actually happening underneath the way that you're talking about these things is that's horizontal planes are all going to be the same plane. So we should probably stick to the reality. Every single spot's going to have its own. Not worry so much about getting caught in the weeds and semantics.
We are. That's why we're exactly where we are here, Scott. We're not messing about with semantics.
It's going to be its own unique
We
plane.
are definitely
any other plane.
in reality. That's definitely where we are. 3 posts over a mile set with a horizontal. Now, you seem to think that it's not going to be a horizontal, right?
Remember how we define horizontal, right?
I don't remember how you defined horizontal.
Well, do you not? If you don't want to use this definition, we can use your definition.
What is what? Go on, give us your definition of horizontal. I can pull a few up from the website if you want me to.
Bev, I was just about to.
Do you want me to?
You announced that I should. Yeah. So you drop a plumb. We define that as vertical for any given spot. I can't believe I have said this so many times.
This isn't a definition.
And then the perpendicular line to the plumb.
No, this isn't a definition. This is your imagination. Talking it. Can you please give us a definition? A real one.
I'm telling you my definition.
This is an opinion. This is an opinion.
I know it's opinion. So if you want to use a different definition, I've told you to suggest one.
It's not a definition, is it? It's just your opinion.
It is a definition. It is the definition that I'm suggesting we use. When you asked about 4 times, well, how do you define it? How would you get it? I've told you different every time the same thing. You've been agreeing with me, by the way, until now. If you guys want to use a different definition for how a horizontal plane is created, then all you have to do is present it.
Deluded.
What is the alternative you want to present?
Right. So how what,
hang on, babe.
Scott?
He hasn't presented the definition.
I've just told you that you define a horizontal plane like this. It is the horizontal plane that is perpendicular to the plumb. That is a definition, guys. I hate to break it to you, but it is the definition.
Okay, horizontal, right? A position, plane, 2-dimensional surface, extending out forever.
Yes.
Okay. Now, horizontal. What does horizontal mean? It means perpendicular. Okay.
No, okay, I guess I don't really care, but
it's a straight line. If it's a straight line, it has a perpendicular.
Okay, so what I've defined for you is a plane as defined in opposition to a plumb line. Is that acceptable or unacceptable to you?
You haven't defined anything. You have only given an opinion.
That is a definition. That is a definition. You guys can say, let's use a different definition.
I can't. I actually,
horizontal plane per point.
I can't find the vertical when compare it to the vertical, it says, but mainly it says plane parallel to that of the horizon.
How do you guys want to define horizontal plane if you don't want to define it the way I just did?
Have a look in debate discussion if you're there. I'll go and find another one for you if you want.
Again. I'm in the other room. Just tell me how you want to define it. It's not this hard, guys. I just gave you a simple definition. It's the one we've been using.
You gave an opinion.
You define it in opposition to the plumb line. Yes, it is an opinion for how you define the word horizontal plane that we've been using. So if you would like to apply a different opinion, all you have to do is present a different definition.
Yeah, a parallel to, in the plane of, or operating in a plane parallel to the horizon, or to a baseline / level.
Okay, so you want to define.
So that's a horizontal. That'd be a good one for me.
Okay, so you want to define horizontal plane as a plane that is parallel with the line that makes the horizon?
Yep, that's where the defined. Yeah. Do you want to get us another? I'll get you another one.
That's Merriam-Webster.
Okay, so
that's a dictionary definition, not an opinion.
Okay, I heard you. Well, it's all the same thing, my friend. So this line that we saw, so we take the horizontal, we take the horizon.
Is another one.
Assume that we mean the infinite horizon, right? We mean the horizon at infinity. We'll call that a line, and we say anything that matches that line, the infinite horizon, is going to be a horizontal plane. And I guess, do we give it a height? Do you guys want to give it a height? Does it matter?
What?
Your definition of horizontal plane.
Your position on the vertical.
Yes. Do you want to give it a height?
Well, let's call it the datum.
What does that mean? What's the height?
0.
0, yeah. Datums are a 0 point, aren't they?
Yeah.
Okay, so where it intersects the Earth at my feet is 0. Then, is that what you're saying?
I've got another one here. Horizontal line in descriptive geometry and drawing. Right, a constructive line, either drawn or imagined, which passes through the point of sight and is the chief line in the projection upon which all verticals are fixed and upon which all vanishing points are found. Is that okay?
Okay.
Do you want me to find you another one?
Defined, right?
And I'll get you another one.
I got it.
Okay.
We can use this if you want. We can.
We can use, I can keep getting you some more. Are you all right with that? Or
well, if they all say the same thing,
we're talking about a
you
plane.
can if you want.
We're talking about a plane, aren't we?
Yeah.
Mr.
Or how to define a plane.
Are you on a plane now?
We're defining a plane.
You want a plane? Okay, we can do that.
Oh
as
my
well.
gosh, you guys are weird.
No, you said
So, do we
we
have
were
a-
on horizontal before, but now you want plane. We can do.
The
We can do
horizontal
that
plane
too.
is the plane defined by two of those horizontal lines, right?
Two?
What?
Why do you need two?
If you draw a horizontal line, okay, you draw a horizontal line, then draw a line that's perpendicular to it in the same
It's got
vector
a
space.
picture there
So
in
you
that
don't-
plane
it
one
could
that
go
I've
up or
just
down.
put in there. That
You gotta
says
draw a line
there's a
that's perpendicular
horizontal
to it
plane on
and
that.
also to the plumb, and that defines your plane, right?
It's got
I
three
think that's a given.
3 points that are on the same horizontal, like it's a horizontal
You can
plane.
do 3 points too. You can use 3 points if you want to define a plane that way too. Obviously.
It says that you can
I'm
name a
confused
plane
as to what you're
by
gonna define it.
either a single capital letter or by at least 3
Mm-hmm.
of its non-collinear points.
You guys are just reading old geometry text. Like, yes, so this is all this is all straightforward fine.
All right.
Well, what
Well,
definition
can
are we
you give us
using?
some of your new geometry text then? Go on.
Yes, well, no, I can just tell you that we can move on to the point. Are you guys going to just keep mulling about like, oh, you can name a plane with a capital letter? Yeah, you can, sure.
Okay, then plane geometry.
this.
In mathematics, a
You can do
plane
it
is a
3
flat,
points. Yes, you
two-dimensional
I thought
surface
you
that
were
extends
making a point.
infinitely far.
Oh my God! Now you're reading to us.
Yeah. What do you want? You asked for some definitions.
I want you to
You
get to the
didn't give
point.
us
You
any.
have a definition now. So what do you want to do with it?
We just set in the baseline so we know what we're talking about.
I'm suggesting that happened when we got the definition about.
So
8 minutes ago.
okay, so we know
I'm
about
wondering
this
why you
then,
keep
right?
just
Okay, so
mulling
we're
about
going to
reading.
establish 3 points on 3 posts on a horizontal. We'll just set a horizontal and move it
Well,
across
that's not how you
all of
defined
those 3
horizontal a second
points.
ago, remember?
Pardon?
That's not the way we just defined it. You defined horizontal as the plane that is
Yeah.
perpendicular, parallel
Plane.
to the horizon line. Remember
Plane.
that?
Yeah, a
The
plane.
plane is parallel to the horizon
Yeah.
line.
A horizontal is a
And then
plane.
you said,
Yeah.
yeah,
Exactly
and then you
what
said
we
it
just said.
intersects the ground at my feet.
No,
right?
you said that. I didn't say it intersects the
No,
ground
you
at
said
your
I asked
feet.
you, where do you want to put the height? I asked you, what height do you want to put it at?
We're going to
Mr.
set
Beach,
that
the
at
datum, was at 0.
Yeah.
Yes.
That's-
So at my
and
feet, we're going to call it 0.
Feet was all you.
Yeah, we're on the post.
When you say the datum is 0, what do you guys mean? Where is
I mean,
the height of this
when
plane
on
relative
one
to
of
0?
these posts, right, that it costs fucking phenomenal amounts of money to get these surveyors to do, see, because you're
Fucking
one of
does,
them,
of course.
right?
It
You just
does.
mark a notch in one post, right? And then you go, that's the datum. That little line there, datum,
Yeah, okay.
0 datum. We want that
Okay.
horizontal moved across all of them. Yes.
That's not going to happen, though, not by your definition.
What do you mean it's not going to
Your
happen?
definition of horizontal plane is going to only intersect with one. It won't hit the same point on the other stakes.
It would be a horizontal line all the way across 3 posts.
Yeah, but the problem is that the stakes aren't on a horizontal line. The stakes
What are you
on
talking
curving lines.
about?
He's saying that surveyors can't do their jobs
I
again.
think he is, yeah. Are
No,
you
I'm saying that the Earth is curving, and so these stakes are not going to have the shared horizontal plane. There's
So you don't think it's possible for surveyors to do it?
A horizon. I think surveyors can do it just fine. In fact, I think a surveyor would say the same thing that I'm saying to you right now.
And what that is that?
That you cannot have a horizontal line as you just defined it and have it intersect these stakes at the same point on all 3 stakes.
So you cannot establish a datum and transfer that datum across 2 more posts
You
over a
can't do it with a
mile.
horizontal plane. No, you can't do that. No.
Oh dear.
Is that just in your imagination, or have somebody told you
Well, it's
that?
the difference. It's a consequence of the difference between our worldviews. On a sphere,
No,
you
our
obviously can't do
worldviews
that.
have got nothing to do with this. Scott.
Yes.
Nothing at all.
It is because on a sphere you can't do that because you
about
imagine it's a flat
geometry.
plane. You can't do that.
Talking
I
about
understand, but you guys
geometry.
need to stop interrupting and listen. You have to stop when we talk about stakes. We're no longer talking about geometry. We're talking about the real world. And because I have a world model that is a spherical Earth, what you're saying wouldn't work. It only works if the Earth is flat.
Yeah, but surveyors,
difference between
right?
our worldview.
Surveyors practice the practical application of Euclidean geometry. You do understand that, right?
And surveyors are a
right
real
now
world.
would agree with me. They would say,
Mr.
yes,
Beach,
Scott's right.
Mr. Beach.
I'm sorry, I was talking. I was answering.
Surveyors are
how
a
many people
real
are going to be in this
world
debate now, finally?
profession.
I thought you had stepped out so that I could 1v1 with Bev.
You understand
step
that
back in now, you're gonna have to
surveyors
be
are a
more
real world
accommodating.
profession, Mr. Beach.
Yeah. So any surveyor would agree
You
with me
do
if they were here.
understand that, yeah?
Any surveyor would agree with me if they were here.
Why is that?
Because what I'm saying is true. They would tell you the same thing.
How much do you actually know about surveying, the profession?
Not a lot.
Okay.
Not a lot, to be honest.
So why do you assume that they would agree with you? Is your world view of your model so strong that you can predict what surveyors would do?
No. What I think is that the statistical chances of a surveyor being a flat earther are nil.
Oh, right. So are you assuming?
And hold on, Bev. I'm answering your question.
No,
I'm
you've
answering your
just
question.
Okay.
The worldview is going to match my worldview, which means that they're not going to agree with you that this horizontal plane will intersect the stakes at the same spot. They just aren't. They're going to say, no, the Earth curves, and that's why this doesn't happen this way.
Okay, so are you
That's
assuming?
a guess. I could be wrong. You can find me the one flat earther surveyor, and if you did, he'd probably agree with you.
Why are you saying that? Are you saying, like, if these surveyors that you assume that you're talking for, right, if they say that level is horizontal, right, are you calling them
what was not clear about what I just said? I
flat
told you that
earthers?
statistically,
Yeah.
they're going to agree with me that we're on a curved Earth. And if
Yeah,
we're on a
but
curved Earth, we're just saying
you're assuming that level being horizontal
no.
is a
I'm
flat
assuming
earther.
that the surveyor we find is going to be is not going to be a flat earther. That's what I'm assuming.
Right, okay, but does that mean if they say that level is horizontal, would that mean that they are?
No.
No.
I don't think it's going to care about how we define the words. I think what they're going to say is that in reality, the curve is going to prevent this model you just described from being true. It's not going to be able to intersect these stakes at the same spot.
Okay,
remember
so
the words, how you define the words is so irrelevant. We don't care what the words mean. We talk about reality, remember?
Yeah, that sounds like you're going dead fast.
That's what you said we were talking about.
You know, the water level, then, you would imagine that over a mile, when you be talking of a water level over 1 mile, have you seen the things with the different models that we're doing at the minute?
I think I have. I think is it what the Rakia showed me?
Yeah, have we got
There's
it?
3 models. Yeah, 1 and 2 I don't think make any sense, but the third one is closest to reality, I think.
Okay. So that would be the one where there is a hump, yeah? Is that hump model, the McToon Bisley
There's not a hump there. No, there's no hump. Maybe the middle one has a hump. Is that the one?
It's the higher one, isn't it? I don't know.
The middle one has a hump. The third one is the one where it's like there's a object that is that is matching a plumb line, and then it goes to the left, and then the other object matches the plumb line there.
Here we go. It's in the debate discussion now. There. So the second one.
Yeah, the bottom one.
The bottom one.
No, the second one's the hump. The bottom one's the one closest to reality.
Oh,
I'm not really sure what the context of this is, and I'm not really sure
Because
what it says
Lansky
that's
nutsack
definitely
drop.
reality, but the top 2 don't make sense at all.
But you know, like everybody's been saying that one's the one that's a bit ridiculous, right?
Which one? The bottom one? No, the bottom one's closest to reality.
Right, but McToon and Walter Bislin went for the other one.
No, there's some sort of context mistake going on there because they must mean something different when they're looking at those 2 vertical
He
things.
said, like, you've got a video of him. He said it's definitely the Earth globe model.
Yeah.
He's not mistaken.
I'm telling you, he hasn't. There's something else he's talking about then, because the problem with the middle one is those 2 vertical objects. They are not plumb. Whatever those things are supposed to represent, they're leaning in like in some weird way.
Oh, so if they had a bit of a lean outwards and then had
yeah, then they'd be correct.
Right, there you go, DP. See, how much of an angle do you reckon he should put on them? He could keep the water level, right, across them, couldn't he?
I'll tell you.
Doesn't it?
I'll
Wouldn't
tell
it
you, it should be
depend on how
perpendicular.
far away?
I'll tell you. I'll tell you how much of an
line.
angle. I can tell you exactly how much of an
just
angle,
put
guys.
the water
You
level.
just stop talking for a second.
Angle the
It
things
should be
on the heads.
perpendicular to the line, tangent to the circle at that point. That's how you define it.
Tangent to a circle. Where's that?
Jesus Christ, guys! If you guys would stop talking and listen, this would not be so hard. I'm telling you, you guys can do this. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Yes, you too. So here I go. I'm going to say it again. Define the angle, which I was asked about.
Yep.
This is how you get it. It is the line that is perpendicular to the line that is tangent to the circle at that point. Write it down if you need to.
Line that is perpendicular.
Oh, I see what you mean.
At that point. Ah, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I knew you guys do it.
That's Euclidean geometry, right? That.
This is geometry.
It is, yeah. In order to get the perpendicular to a tangent at that point.
Well, it answers your question because you wanted to know what the angle you would put the vertical would be at.
So DP,
anyway.
Can you redo that? But when you do it, angle them things off at an angle, but the water will have to be level, right?
So
don't forget to keep the water level. Yeah, across the thing.
I'm not sure what you're talking about. I'm not redoing anything.
Yeah, the water stays level, but the things can be angled.
But the vials need to be angled.
Yeah.
Are you talking to me or are you talking to somebody else?
Yeah, I'm talking to the main guy, right? But obviously to suit you.
If
So
you're talking to me, I have no idea what you mean.
We're just angling the vials, right? That's what you wanted on that, and then you said it would be more accurate.
I have no idea what you're talking about, dude. You're talking gibberish to me. What do you think I'm going to redo? What are we talking about?
You're Scott.
No, he's talking to me, Beachy, not you.
Oh, my bad. I'm sorry. I must have misheard.
Yeah, you were
bad.
definitely.
Yeah.
Got all that mixed up. But you're saying that if we angle them out, Scott, it would be more believable to you, right?
Well, it would be more representative of, I guess, a mainstream model or something. Yeah.
More representative of a model. Would it make you change your mind from the Kozlowski nutsack drop?
I have to be honest with you. I'm not sure what the context of this image is, so I probably want to know more about exactly what you're trying to say with it. But
why don't you walk him through?
Do you want me to get on the board?
Expect you to have
on the board.
I'll get on the board.
Was angle. Oh, sorry, I didn't realize you guys were talking again.
Mr. Beach, if you just watch Bev on the boards, then he'll walk you through. He'll walk you through both of these models.
I don't care that much, to be honest. You didn't need to interrupt me to tell me that. I could have just finished the sentence.
Yeah, okay. Well, you finish for a minute. I'll just sort this out.
My point is that I don't know enough context to really have a comment. It's not that interesting, but yeah, it probably would look better.
One of these
move on from it
must suit your worldview.
The bottom one. I'll say the bottom one.
The bottom one suits your.
I don't really know exactly what the context is. Like you said, is it really important? Is this what you want to talk about, Primate?
Well, this is all to do with level being a straight line on a horizontal plane.
Okay.
So yeah, it is within the context of why you're here.
Okay. We can talk about it if you want.
What do you mean if we want? It's why you're here. It's the reason.
I'm not here for any particular reason. I'm here to debate you about whatever you want to debate about. If this is what you want to debate about, let's do it.
It's the reason God Scalpel invited you here.
Well, he never told me that. Now,
a week or so ago.
It wasn't a week ago. It was 9 weeks ago.
No, it wasn't.
It was 9 weeks ago.
No,
yes, it was.
No, really.
Yes, it was. I looked in DMs the last time we had this debate. It was 9 weeks ago.
Okay.
I'm telling you. Okay. I looked in the debate last time we talked about this.
Mr. Veach, this really doesn't matter.
I looked in DMs. Then why are you contradicting me when I tell you it's 9 weeks?
Do you know how?
Contradict me.
Do you know how a water level works? The
I think so. I only found out what it was a few minutes ago. Remember?
So you understand how it works, yeah?
I think so. I just found out what it was a few minutes ago. So
right. Okay.
I wouldn't want to say I definitely. Hold on. I'm answering your question. Hey,
just a yes or no. Just a yes or no would have sufficed.
If you keep interrupting me, we're going to devolve into immatureness again. Let's stay above it. You just have to learn to listen. It's not that hard. Are you done yet? Are you done?
It's a space for you to fill, Vici.
No, it's for you to fill.
No, you
Are
were
you done?
explaining something. Apparently, I was over talking.
No, you were interrupting me. You had something to say. It was so
I
important
was
to interrupt. So go
interrupting
ahead.
you,
It's your
so I
space.
gave you space, and then you stopped talking.
So it is your space. Do with it what you will. I'll wait.
If you look in debate discussion, there is a big white box with a play symbol on it. Can you see it?
Are you done?
Mr. Beach, can you see it?
Are you done? Is this it?
Can you see the big white box with the little play symbol in the center?
Are you done? Is it my turn yet?
I'm asking you a question. A yes or no would be nice.
Well, I don't see it.
In debate discussion. Do you want me to post it again?
Please. I see plane. I don't see a play button, but I see the word plane.
No, a big white box with a play button in the center. If you click the play button, it's a short animation that will show you how a water level works. Do you see it, Mr. Veach?
We
Yes
see your
or no?
link. It's just a link.
Well, if you click the link, do you see it, Mr. Veach?
No.
How come everybody else does in debate discussion? You see the room debate discussion?
Is it because I'm not near my computer right now?
Well, that's hardly my issue, is it?
There you go. Can you see that?
Are you done?
I'm done drawing.
Back.
Yeah.
Gonna need to go back to your computer, Mr. Beach.
Is it going to tell me anything I don't already know?
I don't know.
Yes. I would say yes.
Right now. Here I go. Hitting play.
If you don't know what a water level is, then yes, it will tell you something you don't know.
Well, remember, I did see it, and I made some guesses. Despite Bev having an antipathy towards telling me whether that is the horizontal line between the two water levels, that's my guess is how that works. Let's see if
that is a horizontal line between the two.
Well, then why wouldn't you just say yes when I asked that? Yeah, okay. So this is exactly what I thought from after I saw it. Cool. Now what?
So you have an understanding of what a water level is, how it works?
Let's say I think I do, based on what I've seen.
Right, okay. Perfect.
So are you looking at it now then, Scott?
I saw it.
Okay, so you can see that there is a difference between the two models.
Between the two models?
Yeah.
Bev's screen. Are you watching Bev's screen?
No.
Oh.
When you said, "Can I see it?" I saw the video of the water level in use. You want me to look at your screen now?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know how I was supposed to know that.
Because Bev did say to you.
You guys are just weird.
I've been drawing for a bit. Told you I was drawing. This has become...
I think you maybe mumbled something when you were talking to Primate, but I don't think you told me.
Okay.
Okay, I'm looking at it.
Okay. So, top model. Kozlowski nutsack drop. The horizontal from his eye. You see that? That horizontal. There is a drop. Over a mile. Yeah?
Why do you have the vial oriented the way you do?
What?
The far vial. Why do you have it oriented the way you do?
Oh, it didn't really matter. You can look. You see these?
Shouldn't
You
it
mean that
be
one there?
parallel
Why
with
it's
a
got
plumb?
a bit of a lean on it.
No, no, I mean on your picture.
Is that what you're
on your image.
You mean? Oh?
No, I mean on your image.
Oh well, because like this one here, it's in replication of this one.
Where is it? Where can I see the drawing?
But it's like the level of the water. It doesn't really matter what this is, does it?
He's on. He's doing like a live stream. So why does the drawing of the
hang on a minute, Mr. Beach. If you just click Bev's camera on his next to his name, then anybody can watch the live stream. Yeah,
I don't see that in my. Okay.
So why is the vial, the far vial, why is it orange?
Sorry? Did he just cut out?
Shouldn't you have it parallel to a plumb there?
What do you mean? It is.
Well, where the far vial is. Now that's not the. I'm not talking about the real vial. I'm talking about not that plumb. Because in order for you to use real life plums, you need to separate them as far as they're separated here.
What?
So you'd have to take that plum and move it out.
It is a real life plum, Scott. What are you talking about?
Well, let me ask you a question. How many miles on the picture? How many miles does that depict?
What? That it's 32 inches to 1 mile.
Two drawn plums, yeah.
32 inches to 1 mile. We're doing it at scale, like across.
Okay, so if you want to use plums in real life, you need to separate them by that distance.
What? No, we're just depicting it on my board here, Scott.
In real life, to then make a model for it, you need to separate them by the distance that you're putting up there.
This is a horizontal, right?
Yes.
And then these are perpendicular to the horizontal, right?
How long is the horizontal? How long is that horizontal?
It's 1 mile, look.
Okay, so you need to put the plums at 1 mile apart if you want to use them.
No, you see, what would the difference in a horizontal over a mile be? It's a straight line.
What is confusing about this? Listen to me. If you want to mimic the model in real life, you got to actually mimic the model.
Yeah, it's scale. We've just scaled it. It's a straight line.
If you want to show us the actual plumb bob in this picture, you have to do the plumb bob at a mile because you're going to get a different orientation when you do that.
It's vertical and it's perpendicular as designated by the right angles there, right?
By doing that, by dictating that, you're then.
I'm not dictating anything. I'm just showing you reality. What happens?
Well, I'm trying to tell you that if that's the way you define it, that's not parallel to plumb at that spot.
I can't make one of these plumb bobs go off at an angle. I just can't do it. Not even for you, Scott. Sorry, I can't.
You could if you were a mile away. You could because they would be no longer. They would not look parallel to each other.
They would have to be perpendicular to the horizontal, though, wouldn't they?
Not that horizontal. No, a different horizontal.
What do you mean?
How many times am I going to say this? Every single spot on Earth has a different horizontal plane is defined by this plumb. So every plumb is not parallel with every other plumb.
So this is a straight horizontal's a straight line.
Yeah.
And everything perpendicular to a horizontal is a vertical.
It's a vertical, I guess you could call that sort of vertical relative to the plumb line that you use.
The plumb line is a tool for establishing a vertical.
Damn. I wish I could see this, man.
Pardon?
Are you not on YouTube, Bev?
No, I'm not live on YouTube now. Can you not see this on the thing? I've got to cook my tea.
Don. So here's the deal, Bev. It's just, I know you must know this. It sounds to me like you're trolling. Like in the world of Vine, no plumb is parallel. Every single point has its own unique plumb that is not parallel.
Are you saying
you either agree or disagree with that? You disagree with that. I mean, Bev, how many times do you want to do this? I'm telling you, I just told you. I just told you they're not parallel. Correct.
It's hard as an observer to hear this insanity.
So,
I've said the same thing 11 times.
So
I know. I don't understand.
These three plums here that are dangling, right?
Yeah,
there's a horizontal line going through them. All three of them.
They're not.
They're not what?
No, they're not parallel. Oh, Bev, why are we doing this? They're not parallel, I claim.
Well, I claim that all three of these will be perpendicular to the horizontal going across.
Right, that's the same thing. I'm saying I don't agree with that. I don't
think
it's
the same thing. Perpendicular is a straight line.
If they're all parallel, then they'd be perpendicular to the line. If they're perpendicular to the line, then they're all parallel. Well, yeah, I say they're not parallel, so they're not all perpendicular to the line. That's why it's the same thing.
Okay, so these verticals that these plumb bobs are establishing here are, in your worldview, aren't
Yes,
perpendicular
they're not
to the
parallel.
horizontal that's running all the way through.
They are not parallel to each other, and they are not perpendicular to that line, right? Not all of them. One of them might be, but not all of them.
Okay. Wow. So that's nice of you to say that, but
that is the mainstream model. That's exactly how gravity works. Every point has its own plumb line. Every point has its own gravity vector.
All
It
surveyors
shifts
must
as
be
you move.
quitting their jobs now.
I might need a tag. Can somebody give me the
Surveyors
curve
would agree
tag?
with me.
That might
Every
be why I
surveyor
can't
would
see
agree
this.
with me.
I'm really struggling, Scott. You don't really know much about surveyors, do you? Or surveying. You're basing this on a model, aren't you?
I'm telling you that in the spherical model, the mainstream model of science.
Yeah, I know. I say like you are basing this on a model, aren't you?
Don't interrupt. Don't interrupt. Just let me finish what I'm saying. A lot
Talk
of confusion comes
talk
because
about
you
your
never actually
model,
hear anything.
and then I'll ask you again afterwards. Okay?
Yeah, I am telling you what the mainstream model is. So in the mainstream model, gravity vector is the same, is parallel to the plumb at any given point. That plumb line is unique to that point because if you shift even an inch, even 2 inches, even very small amount, but really if you shift a lot, is it noticeable? But if you shift any, you're then shifting the orientation of that plumb. It's no longer truly parallel with the other one. And that phenomena is how gravity works, how the shape of the planet works. That's why it is that our idea of levels seems to contradict yours. That's why it is that your horizontal line doesn't work all the way across for us. All the things that you say, I disagree with based on this fundamental worldview.
Okay. But it is just based on that model.
Well, there's a good evidence to believe that this is the correct worldview.
You've got no geometric evidence, and you've got no practical evidence. You're just basing it on your model.
Evidence. No, we have lots of practical evidence, like pictures from space that show us, it
That's
is
not a practical evidence, is it? Come on, Scott.
That's exactly practical evidence. Pictures, photographs are practical evidence, dude.
Okay, so
I think I need a tag so I can see it. It's the only variable I can determine. Everyone else can see it. I can't.
Have you clicked on his name?
Bev, try thinking.
Whatever.
Who is it?
And then what?
Who is it that wants the
He
tag?
has a camera.
Pressed on.
No, I don't have a camera.
Yeah.
I've just given him the curved tag.
Well, there's the video camera button, but that's just trying to video call him.
Next to Bev's name, there is a little camera
that's my
icon.
My screen.
I'm on the phone, so maybe I'm sorry.
Right. So
everything I'm saying is a consequence of a spherical, or for which I think there's a ton of very good practical evidence, overwhelming evidence, to be honest.
Okay. So of these two models, then, which one do you subscribe to?
Well, neither one is drawn, I would say, correctly.
Okay. Well, which one of these models? Because they're obviously both different, aren't they?
And neither one is correct, though.
Okay, so how would we, if we were to draw it, how do we modify it to make it happy for you?
I think it would be better if you take that top one, and you orient the far vial to be parallel with a plumb there. What I would call the plumb there, I guess.
Hey, Bev.
You mean a vertical like a testicle? I can do that for you.
No, that's not what I mean.
That's definitely what you mean. Brad was
vertical
showing us
like a
that.
testicle.
Right. Okay, so if I do like
must be a Britishism.
This, how's that? Does that look better?
Yeah, it looks better.
Okay, I've not put any water in it, so it doesn't really matter at the minute. But that's happier for you.
Matter.
Are you okay with that? Is that better now?
I mean, it's better.
Okay.
Now,
remembering this is a mile.
It's better.
Remember, this is a mile.
Yeah.
Right, and this is horizontal.
Well, that's irrelevant, but okay.
What's this drop?
That drop there.
Yeah.
That drop there is exactly how do you define that drop?
Yeah, model maths. Give us a number, because this is 1 mile. What number would you put on that?
I don't know. I have to look it up. I think, like I said, I have a rule of thumb, but I'd have to look it up to be sure.
Go on. I mean, nobody's going to hold you to.
I thought you memorised these numbers.
Fraction. Nobody's going to get you to decimalizations of inches. Nobody's going to.
That's a different drop. That's a different drop than what I'm talking about.
Yeah, you said it was only 3
No, because
numbers.
look at where the horizontal is. No.
Yeah.
Yes, they aren't the same 3 numbers though, dude.
It's 1 mile. The drop in 1 mile for each.
Yeah.
No, that's not what it is.
Yes,
Look
it
at
is.
his diagram, dude.
No, it's-
I'm not being perverse.
Okay, then.
Look
Well,
at it.
let's say
The
this,
horizontals are
this
the
bit
guys.
here, this distance here, from his eyes to there.
Nice t-shirt,
is
Bev.
5 foot. Do you like that?
Yeah.
I think if you do it from his feet, if you tangent his feet, basically,
Pardon?
I think then that distance will be 8 inches. I think.
Okay. Okay, so
So you gotta do it from his feet.
the drop of the water level, right? So if we bring that water level, right, across there, yeah, the drop of that.
I think so.
8 inches. Yeah.
I think that'll be 8 inches. I think
Ish.
so.
You know, like nobody's going to hold you to
I think so.
decimalisation.
The orientation might be wonky. I don't actually know if the orientation for that 8 is that, or if it's more the triangle. You made a triangle out of it.
But that
You did
drop,
8 going the other way.
that's the model that you're going to go with.
I'm saying I don't know if it's that drop or if it's the triangle side. If you drew it out, like continuing with the vial going in the direction it's going, is it 8 there or is it 8 there? I don't know.
Okay, but
it's close
this model is the Scott Veitch model. You're going to put your name to the Kozlowski nutsack drop.
What did I just say?
I
I
don't
don't
know.
know if it's 8 going that way or this way. I don't know a lot about it, but if you want to talk about it, we can use 8 for now. But no, I'm not putting my name on it. I gotta think a lot more about it.
But
I'll put
not
my name
this
on it.
one
It's
then.
Crazy.
Not this one.
Well, not as drawn. No.
No. Okay. Well, if we were
when
to
you
move
draw the
these
vials,
around
not-
at the
not-
side like that, maybe angle.
Yeah, then it would be better. Yeah. Then I'm okay with it. Yeah.
Okay.
I'm not really sure what you're trying to say with these as a part of the problem. Like, I don't know what you want to do with it.
Well, you see this one.
No?
This goes up in the middle, and
Maybe it
this
goes
one
up.
drops.
Go up.
It drops. Though.
But you're looking at it from the outside frame of reference. Inside
No,
the frame of reference, it
we're
doesn't do
looking
that.
at it from the end
From
of
the
the
side.
water level.
Well, you're looking at it from a magical side perspective that's not part of the frame of reference.
Yeah, but we are both at the edge of the water level. Now, this is where we say 2 different models. Model
Okay.
1, the Kozlowski nutsack drop down.
Well, honestly, those two
down
models now are
from
the
the
same.
horizontal
They're the same now.
down. Yeah, horizontal
Bev.
down
Bev.
drop.
Hey,
This
Bev,
one
The 2
horizontal
models are the same now.
up.
Oh my god. Bev, the 2 models are the same now. I'm
How
saying.
can they both be the same?
You've just taken one and twisted it a little.
No, I
bit.
haven't.
They're
The
the
water
other
level
one to
is
be the
here.
same.
We are both at the beginning of the water level.
Yeah, but
This is the end
orientation
of the water
vial
level.
is different, though, isn't it?
Pardon?
But the orientation of the vial is different now.
You felt orientated
So if you,
to different
if you
vials.
rotate
I mean, I
it so
could
the
do that.
orientation of
Look.
the vials are the same.
Look.
If you, hey Bev.
Look.
If you rotate it so the orientation of the left-hand vials are the same, then you have the same thing, right?
Look at that.
Hey Bev.
Look at the orientation on
image
that
to the-
vial.
Hey Bev, if you orientate the pictures
that way.
so the left-hand vial is the same in both pictures. Oh my gosh, you're not listening, are you?
There you go. Look.
Can you not listen, dude? Hey Bev.
I'm just showing you that it
Do you want me
doesn't
to- do you want
matter
to just stop
what
doing
the
this?
orientation
I know,
of
but
the
I'm telling you,
vials
it has nothing to do with
are
what you're doing.
with the water level,
telling
you
you that-
muppet.
But listen to what I'm saying. Yeah, but listen to what I'm saying though, and you'll understand. If you orient the bottom picture so that the vial you've drawn is at the same orientation as the top one, then you'll have them the same exact picture. It's just
Yeah,
a matter of orientation.
Yeah, but
Well, they're the same thing.
no, they're not the same thing.
How are they not the same thing?
Because
Well, listen,
just
and Bev
rotate
will
it.
explain.
this
Okay.
is a chord, isn't it?
That line I didn't even think mattered, but yes, that's a chord.
And then this is a drop.
Well, that's not the line you have. You have a drop line there. See?
Yeah, because it's a drop.
You got a line above that.
The water level, as quoted by Jesse Kozlowski, the water level drops down from the horizontal at a rate of 8 inches times the distance in miles squared.
So if you orient the bottom one to be the same as the top one, that's what you'll get, right?
But it's not, is it? That's why it's a
Yes,
different
it is.
model.
No, you just oriented it
Yes, no.
differently.
This is the one that, you know, when Jesse drove over Dave Rekier's bridge with a thing on his roof of his
I
car
don't know who Jesse is, to be honest with you.
to log the
I don't know,
Kozlowski,
no.
the big K.
I don't know who you're talking about.
You don't know Jesse? Oh dear.
No.
Anyway, he drove over a bridge, logged a load of data sets. Like Pontchartrain, right? So, and then when he did it, Walter Bislin, I take it you know who Walter Bislin is.
Yeah, I know who that is.
Right. So Walter Bislin made a model for Jesse, and when he did, he drew it like this. And so this is one end of Lake Pontchartrain Bridge, and this is the other end. And in the middle, there's a hump of 28.5 metres. 28.46 if you want to be exact. And calculate it properly. If you want to calculate it, 28.46 metre hump.
It's just a matter of perspective, Bev. You're
It's not that hump isn't a drop.
But it's a matter of perspective, Bev.
It's not. There's a difference between a hump.
Yeah, it is.
And a drop.
No, it is. A hump, though, implies an increase in altitude or increase in elevation.
Which is what you get on Dave Rakia's bridge, measured by.
That's not what you get.
Jesse Kozlowski,
the bridge might actually be humped. I don't know about the bridge. The bridge might be humped for all I know. Bridges can be humped. But the surface
Walter
of the
Bislin made a model that it made it humped.
Well, the surface of the sphere is not humped. It's just a matter of perspective.
No, you do this.
Humped is to fix your
It
frame of
makes it
reference.
level. He makes a level line across the bottom.
I'm not sure what you mean by that, dude.
And makes a hump there.
So on a spherical planet, on a sphere, things don't hump though, because the height is defined as distance from the center. The distance from the center is going to be the same on a sphere, right?
Distance from the center.
So there's no
you keep saying that, Scott.
Yeah,
distance from the center.
Well, I'm telling you how it is. So do you understand what I'm saying?
Center of what?
Do you understand why there's no hump?
Center of what, Scott?
The sphere. If you have a sphere.
No, we established this earlier.
There's not going to be any hump.
We established the height from we established the height from a datum, don't we?
Yeah, from the center of a sphere is how we're doing it.
No, we don't.
No, 0 point, remember?
Mean sea level.
0 point is from the center of the sphere.
You decided you were standing
level.
on your 0 point.
Yeah, mean sea level, which is defined a certain distance away from the center of the mass.
No, it's not. No, mean sea level is your datum.
Of course it is.
No, it's not.
Yeah, of course it is, because gravity's going to curve that. You have to think of it in terms of the curve. It's on a sphere.
How do you measure that?
How do you measure the distance to the center?
Yeah.
Well, you figure out the diameter of the thing. You half it.
And how do you do that? Radius. How do you do that?
It's different. It's tricky though. It's tricky though because we go from space. You go into space. You take a picture of it. From that,
space surveying.
The sizes.
Proper space.
It is tricky though. I'll tell you, it is tricky though because it depends on exactly where you're standing. Because as we said, it's not.
It depends where you're standing. Where would you be standing then, Scott? Come on.
Well, because as we said,
where would you be standing?
I'm telling you, Bev, I'm trying to tell you before you start interrupting like over and over. Depending on where you stand, you're gonna have a different radius to the center because of the bulging, right? That's what the bulging means. When we say it's an oblate spheroid, we're saying it's not a perfect sphere.
Okay. So your distance to the center, even in your model, right, is always changing.
It's a little lumpy.
Yeah. How do you know how far you are from the center then? If it's
well, I don't know ever really. I mean, I'm never really paying attention to it. How do people know?
Yeah. Should we just go off mean sea level and establish that as a datum?
Well, what we should do though is recognize that there's not a hump there.
There
because
is.
To have a hump, you have to have this out.
28.5 meters measured by Walter Bislin and Jesse Kozlowski.
What Walter Bislin's bridge might have had a hump for all I know. I don't know what the topography of his bridge looked like.
Okay.
But
so is that what you're saying then? Because Walter Bislin said it in his. Do you not, Scott? Please, Scott, please. No, I've been answering questions all day for you, Scott.
Please, just answer the question. You haven't
answered. Okay, all right, go on then, and then I'm going to ask you all of the questions I want to ask you. Okay, thank you. Oh, what was your question?
I'll ask one, and then you ask all the ones you want.
What was the question you wanted me to answer?
My question for you is this: the points along that thing that you're calling a hump. Do you think that those points have different elevations?
The what?
Who's got their mic open?
Who's banging? Helgi. He's working. Are the points? What do you mean by point?
Seriously?
Well, yeah.
No,
I mean, like if I was to
if you pick a bunch of spots, on that curve.
Yeah. On that, which curve?
Do you think those
which
spots look
which
different
curve,
elevations?
Scott?
The thing you call a hump, Bev.
Okay. Yeah.
Would you think that they have different elevations?
If I was measuring it and I had a horizontal line established like an auto level, and I measured the difference in elevation with a difference in the vertical, then I would say yes, there's definitely a difference in elevation there, yes. Because it is a change in the vertical. That is what elevation is, Scott. Yeah, elevation is... Scott, elevation is measured as a difference in the vertical.
To the horizontal relevant to the point where you're at, not the horizontal from some other point that's random.
Scott, do you know
where you're at? You
Scott,
have to measure
the
surveyors,
surveyors,
every single point on
Scott,
Earth has its own horizontal plane.
Scott,
this is how surveyors do it. This is what they tell you. So
Hey,
every
Pete,
horizontal
why
plane,
you
we're at the
trying to
point
shut
we're
everybody's
at,
mic
you
down,
measure the
man?
altitude
Hey,
there.
Pete,
Scott.
Pete.
What'd you
How
say?
you want to shut
What'd
everybody's
you say?
mic down?
What'd you say? You say my name?
I want to shut everybody's mic down.
Yeah, Cleary, don't give him an out.
I'd like to get a sentence out without being interrupted and overtalked by these guys constantly.
Right.
Literally, not one time have I gotten a full sentence out.
Okay, Scott.
See, he's leaving now. They're making noise.
Okay, Scott. So, see the water level is at one side of the board and the other side of the board. Now, which point does that establish a horizontal at, please?
I'm not sure what you mean by that. Can you explain?
It's a water level. Look at each side of my board.
Okay.
It's a tube
Can
filled
I
with water.
just
Can you see it?
Guys, if you guys can't let me finish, especially if you're going to have the kids...
You asked me where it was. I told
if
you.
If you can't let me finish, I'm not going to stay, dude.
I know.
You've got to be able to let me finish my sentences without you interrupting constantly.
Okay, brilliant. Carry on then. What are you saying?
I'm not even sure what I was trying to say. You're interrupting so much.
Okay, right. So do you want me to restate what I was saying then, and then you can remember?
The reference point of elevation.
Dude, what is your issue? Like, just wait till I'm done and then say what you have to say. I will be so much better that way.
You don't know what you're saying, though.
Yeah, that was me, Scott.
How do you know if you're not ever listening?
Okay, now...
Scott, you were trying to contend the reference point of
No,
elevation.
he was saying it only establishes horizontal at one point. I asked, a water level is a tube that has two vials at each end. Where is the horizontal that tool establishes, please, Scott?
I've told you this already once. I'll tell you again. It's at the midpoint between the two vials.
Okay, so not actually where the actual tool is. You know, like, because most people would say that it checks the same level at one end to the other. That's what they'd say. They wouldn't say it establishes a level point in the center where it isn't.
But that's gravitational.
Anyone that says that would be incorrect.
Okay.
So I don't really believe most people would say that. But if they did say that, I think that would be incorrect. I would call that wrong.
Okay, so now, when you establish a water level and it equalizes, right? The water equalizes across it from one end to the other. Look at that board and tell me, which one of those models do you imagine the water level establishes, please?
And those two models are basically equivalent. If you're saying that's a really big water level, it's a mile long, right? Is that what we're saying?
Yeah, that's going to be the test. Yep.
So if you draw a line between the two water levels, let's say, which is really going to be to the edges of the water, but whatever. Okay. Then the horizontal that I would associate with that is at the midpoint between the two vials. So at the half-mile mark.
Okay, so this one here, right? You wouldn't call that one horizontal, would you?
Say point again. Point again. I wasn't looking.
This one. It goes from this water level to this water level. would you call
The
that
mid,
horizontal?
where's the midpoint of that?
Would you
If you draw,
imagine
if you draw a
this
line,
horizontal
midpoint, that's
is this one?
if you draw a plumb line or a line that's perpendicular to that line at the midpoint, that's where I think that it would be established.
You think here, where this perpendicular...
That's not the right line.
This
But
is
if you drew one that was perpendicular to the horizontal, then yes.
Yeah.
That
That one,
the
that
horizontal
one
between
there,
the two vials is different.
that one there,
Not the right line.
that is a vertical though, because it's perpendicular to the horizontal.
But it's not perpendicular to the horizontal between the two vials. See, that's the problem.
This isn't a horizontal though. Look at it. There's an angular difference.
It is.
No. There is an
What do you mean it's
angular
angular
difference between
Between it
a
and what?
horizontal and your supposed horizontal. This one's going down.
Now that you've drawn it like this, though, your horizontal is no longer horizontal. Now that you've
Okay,
drew the
exactly.
vials
Well, that's what I'm
correctly,
saying.
You've got the wrong horizontal.
I'm glad because now you've just swapped to this model.
Well, they're the same thing.
They're not the same thing. Drop.
They are. I'm
Down
telling you, it's just
angle.
another
See, there's a different angle here. Look, I'll put that there.
No, I know, but that
There is
horizontal
an
at top
angle
is meaningless
there.
now. Yes, but that top horizontal line doesn't mean anything anymore.
Yeah, it does because it's coming out from his eyes. Like, look, this one. This
Yeah,
one
that's
has
only-
parallel
that horizontal
horizontals.
is only relative.
That's why I was
It's only
saying there's
relative
two
to the-
different
to the-
models.
It's only
I'm
relative
glad that
to
you
his
can now
horizontal
see,
where he's standing.
Scott. I'm glad that you've now
I'm telling
seen
you, Bev, but you
that
won't
there
let me
are
finish my
two
sentence.
different models. I'm
They're the
impressed.
same model, Bev.
They're not.
They're the same model, Bev. Yeah, so let me just say what I'm saying, and then you can actually respond when I'm done.
Perpendicular.
The horizontal that you've drawn. Oh my God.
It's not. That's definitely not
Bev,
perpendicular.
are you gonna let me respond or not? So the horizontal that's at the top of the top one, that one is horizontal only in relationship with the plumb on the far left. So you are saying with a water level, where is the horizontal defined at? I've told you where it's defined at. It's at the midpoint and it's perpendicular. So you got to draw a different horizontal now.
No, a horizontal's a straight line, Scott. What are you doing?
Between the water levels.
A horizontal's
I'm
a
sorry,
straight
can I
line.
finish? You got to erase. You got to erase the top one and draw a new one between the water levels.
No. Look, one device making a horizontal straight line all the way across. You don't get a new
but it's the
horizontal.
wrong horizontal. It's the wrong horizontal, dude.
What do you mean the wrong horizontal?
That's the horizontal we established.
Should we have it at a different
The first
angle?
planet Earth has its own unique horizontal plane as we're defining it.
It can't
Remember
have.
that, right? It does, because every plumb is not parallel. How many times, guys? How many times?
How do you know the plums aren't parallel? What are you talking about?
Well, that's the claim. I mean, that's the difference in our worldview.
What's what
right? That's
claim?
what it comes down to.
Who's made the claim?
That every plumb is different. Every plumb is not parallel to another plumb.
No, they're
You
not.
made the
They're all
assumption that they are. I'm
perpendicular
telling
to
you that I don't think that they
horizontal.
are.
Scott.
No, Vici just made the claim.
What's the difference, dude?
Yeah, I know.
If every plumb is not parallel,
That's
then that
your
means every
claim.
horizontal is different.
Scott, that's your claim.
That's the mainstream model. You're right.
It's your claim.
I mean, that is the mainstream model. You're right.
No, it's not.
It is.
I think
No,
it is.
you've just made the
I
claim.
don't even have to be looking at it, and I bet
It is the mainstream model, dude.
What, the vertical and horizontal are perpendicular?
No, the mainstream
Yes.
model. Why do you do this? Just listen.
What-
Listen to what I'm saying. The mainstream model is just hold on, Bev. The mainstream model is that the gravity vector, the plumb line, is different at any given point.
Did you just
They're
say
not parallel.
no?
He
you
did,
just
yeah,
say
yeah.
no when Bev said horizontal and vertical aren't perpendicular?
I said the mainstream model.
No, I said
He
no.
said
That's
no.
not my point. When he
He
said,
did
I
say
said,
no,
right,
didn't
that's
he?
my point.
Y'all gotta slow down. I wish
I said no. That's not my point. He says your point. Are you saying that this is this? No, that's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is this.
No, I said
Yes, because that's
vertical
not what
and
I'm saying.
horizontal
Listen
are
to how disingenuous
perpendicular,
you guys
Scott.
are. Like,
Scott,
listen to you,
if you'd
Playmate.
stop talking,
Listen to you, Playmate.
Scott, if you'd stop talking, you might be able to hear me.
No, and instead of
just
of
keep
assigning
talking,
to
you'll
what
never
actually
hear
said,
what I'm
you're
saying.
cutting off the first half and trying to say that I'm saying that the last half is false.
Right,
Like, that's
I
just a lie,
said,
dude.
Scott.
That's just dishonest.
Okay, I said the mainstream model is that vertical and horizontal are perpendicular.
To which
That is not the mainstream model. comment on that. That's
It's
true.
not the mainstream model.
You're right. The two lines can be perpendicular like that. They're right. But the mainstream model is telling us that the gravity vector is different at every spot, Bev. What is hard to understand?
Where's the science guy?
I'm not mental, dude. It's super simple and straightforward, guys. At every point you're at on a sphere, the gravity vector is the line between you and the center of mass. That means that it's not parallel to any other point. This is not hard. That's what the curve means.
Veach, see you later. You're done.
Primate, you're done.
You're
what
done,
I just said is
right.
so simple, and the fact that you don't understand it or don't believe it is not my problem.
See
hey,
you
Primate.
later.
Hey, Primate.
Goodbye.
Hey, Primate. See you later. Goodbye. So what I'm saying is true. If you don't want, if you're scared, but
Scott,
you
you
can
don't.
run. If you
Scott,
don't
you've lost it. You don't even know what you're saying anymore.
Run along. Dude, if you think that I'm wrong, tell me how.
Vertical and horizontal are perpendicular.
The plumb line, the gravity vector, is not parallel to each other at different points. Do you agree or disagree?
Goodbye, Veach. You are done.
Hey, Primate, you don't have to talk. If you're scared, just stop.
I'm not scared.
Yeah, if you
Why am I
disagree or
scared
agree
of
with
you?
that?
Is a plumb bob a tool for establishing? Is a plumb bob a tool for establishing a vertical?
Yes. Is a vertical the same at every spot on Earth?
No, because you move. It's a different fucking vertical, you muppet.
Is it parallel?
It's,
Is it parallel?
it's perpendicular to horizontal everywhere.
That's not my question. Is it parallel? Is it parallel at every spot on Earth?
Is it parallel at every spot? A
That's
spot.
right, the plumb
What's
line.
a spot?
Drop the plumb line at 5 different spots on Earth. Are they parallel lines?
Scott, I can't even understand what you're talking about.
Can you answer that question?
Please
Is the plumb
formulate.
line at 5
Please
different
formulate
spots?
your question properly.
Is it parallel lines? Are they parallel lines?
Or
Those
what?
lines that we get.
Parallel lines.
The plumb line that I drop at 5 different spots on Earth, those lines that we get, you call them verticals. Those 5 verticals that we get, are those verticals parallel to each other?
Yeah. Yeah, they are perpendicular to horizontal.
You're wrong. If you think they're parallel, this is not true. This
Scott,
is
can I
the
interrupt? Bev, when you're saying perpendicular horizontal, you're saying to a shared horizontal.
Yeah, of course I
They're
am.
also all perpendicular.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
where the point of contention is. You're saying they share that same horizontal. Scott Beach doesn't agree.
Yeah. Well, I'm saying a water level being a tool for establishing a horizontal from one end to the other, that is the same level. So you can draw a straight line across that, call that a horizontal, and then you can put a plumb bob across it, and at any point along that line, it will be perpendicular to it. Yeah.
No. The surface of the water doesn't make the same horizontal. And the longer you get the tool, the bigger you get it, the more pronounced that effect is going to be.
Okay, so you do say over a mile there is a drop then, yeah. So you do subscribe to this top model.
Well, not the way you've drawn the horizontal lines, but there's
drops?
a drop. You just have to draw the lines right.
Drops because this is a
You haven't drawn the
horizontal.
lines right. Not because of that horizontal. That horizontal is meaningless now.
Why?
It's not the right horizontal.
Eye level.
Not the
Yeah,
is
it's
it?
not the horizontal that defines the gravity vector.
It drops
It only
from
does
it.
that for one spot.
Drops.
Yes, but
Jesse
that doesn't define the
Kozlowski
gravity
says
vector.
it drops.
Bev, that's fine, but it doesn't define the gravity vector at every spot. It only defines the gravity vector at one spot.
What is the gravity vector, Scott? Please.
The plumb line.
It's
plumb line,
vertical.
the vertical. The word you
Vertical.
like.
Yeah. Okay. So at every point, the
It only
vertical
defines-
will be
it's only
perpendicular
to the
to
vertical
horizontal.
at one spot. It's only perpendicular to a vertical at one spot. Because if you go to a different spot and you drop the plumb, you're going to get a vertical that is not parallel
Is this
to the
line
last
not
spot.
a horizontal line?
That line is not the vertical.
No, this one. The perpendicular to it would be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you understand what I'm saying or not, Bev?
I don't know. I haven't got a clue what you're saying. I mean, I understand that the model that
really
you
don't
have
understand, do you?
is dictating what you're saying. I don't think
Yes.
you understand what you're saying.
Of course I do.
Well,
What you don't
I understand that
is
you know that your model is dictating what you're saying, don't you?
Well, I'm describing how the model works. I have evidence for why the model's true.
Evidence.
So what you don't seem to understand is that you think that everywhere you go and you drop a plumb, I mean, really, the discussion is broken when you think that all plumbs on all spots of the Earth are parallel to each other. If you think that all plumb lines are parallel, no wonder you have this confusion.
They're perpendicular to horizontal.
If you think that every plumb line we drop everywhere on the planet is parallel to each other,
I think they're all perpendicular to horizontal, aren't they?
Yeah.
Do you think you said that?
Not
you
a
think they're all
shared
parallel, didn't
horizontal.
You think they're all
Shared
parallel?
one.
That's the right way to say it. You said yes. That's where the problem is. This is where our disagreement is. We'd have to adjudicate whether that's true or false. If we before any of the other talk is sort of irrelevant.
We've got a test,
you
Scott.
think they're parallel, and I don't think that they're parallel.
We've got multiple logical proofs. We've got quite a few geometrical proofs, and we've got a practical proof.
No, you don't have any.
In a water level
You really
test.
don't have any. All of the evidence suggests that it's what I'm saying.
I doubt it. I don't really know what you're saying.
I know that we're beyond what you can do.
Listen to
You need to relax,
I've got to put some tea on, so take
You'll
over.
be okay, Primate. You calm down.
Beachy, calm
It's
down.
okay, Primate. Don't just relax. It's going to be okay.
Hello?
Just take deep breaths if you're getting scared.
Hello?
So ultimately, it just comes down to this fundamental difference of worldview. It's okay with me that you guys think that all plumb lines are parallel. I don't think that's true. I think there's really good evidence for why that's not true.
You
guys don't ever want to talk about that evidence. Yeah, I don't think that's true. I think there's really good evidence for
Come
why
on,
that's not
evidence,
true.
please, Scott.
You guys
Don't
never
no
talk about that
Scott, evidence, please. What is your evidence?
Pictures from space, for example.
What, that plumb lines aren't really?
Yeah, establishes.
Wow, Scott, that's twice you've gone back to pictures from space, dude.
No, about
I
four.
think they're really compelling evidence.
About 4 times.
So if we see these pictures from space, they show us we have a spherical world.
Who's measured?
Now, how is gravity going to work any other way except for the way I'm describing it?
Evidence, Scott, please. Who is your person who's done it? Let's have
What do you mean, what person who's done it?
Let's have a name, please, Scott.
My dad? Is that what you're talking about?
What, your dad has measured plumb lines not being parallel?
My dad is taking pictures from space.
And that, for you, is enough evidence for you to say that plumb lines aren't parallel.
Plumb lines are not parallel.
So can I put your dad?
Because
No, because that's not
let's
really
think about
level
this for a second.
curvature, is it? I mean,
Hold on, though, Ben. Let's just think about this for a second, can we? So think about this. Let's say the pictures are correct. Now, if you drop a plumb line while you're standing, say, I don't know, anywhere on the globe.
Did you
and
just
then
say,
go a
let's
quarter
say the
distance
pictures
around
are
the globe.
correct?
Just listen.
He did.
Ben.
Yeah,
He did
nice.
say that.
Just
Yeah,
listen.
He did say
Just
that.
listen. Are you not capable of listening or what? It's so ridiculous. So just think
Yeah,
about
your
this.
stories really
if the picture
are
is correct, if we're
ridiculous.
living on a sphere, oh my God, you guys are just silly. You guys can't handle any kind of real debates. You just talk over people.
Hello?
Would you want to keep it to the real world, Mr. Beach?
I wanted to explain why it is that I think that's evidence, but you guys can't handle it.
Well, why don't you keep it to real world rather than going off into your
It is
fantasy
real world.
space
I
realm?
was keeping it to real world.
It's not real
Yes,
world, is it?
it was, I promise.
No.
Well, you
No,
may not
Mr.
think it's real
Beach.
world, but it really is. There's a lot of evidence.
Can I ask Helgi? Do you want to ask Scott a question?
Yeah, man.
Go on.
Hi, Scott. So, if we have just a quick question. He's probably asked you. I just want to hear what you have to say about it. So, if we have a 1.6 kilometer, if you have one A to B, and if you fill it with water, will it be horizontal? Or will it be flat? Will it be the same?
No, the surfaces of the water, I think, will be at an angle to each other.
Well, I just asked a plumber at work about this, and they actually they made, when the army came here to my country, they had to make a barracks, is that what it's called in English?
Yep.
For the army, that was 1.3 kilometers. So it's not 1.6, so it's 1.3.
Yeah.
So they had to calculate it because the middle would be higher than A and B. So A and B would be exact same, but well, roughly exact same, but one in the middle would be off. So it would rise. So it would rise if you would do it all the same.
Well, I know what you mean by rise, I think, but not rise against that gravity, but rise relative to the original point.
If you put water in the middle one, he said it would rise up.
It would rise up.
The one from A to B will be horizontal, but the one in the middle will rise up.
Oh, we haven't gone to the third water vial with him yet, Helgi. He's still stuck on 2 water vials.
Oh, well, it's
I'm not
easy. I
sure.
just asked the plumber, and he said A and B will be horizontal.
Yeah. So what you're saying is the bottom model there, right?
I think he's wrong about that, but you know,
No,
I
they've
think
done it
he's a
before.
plumber. That's great.
No, they've done it before. They're not wrong. You are wrong.
Can I ask
could
Scott
be.
a
Like,
question?
I might be wrong, but I don't think I am. I think that he's either misunderstanding or there's some sort of miscommunication. I think.
Can I ask Scott a question? Okay, Scott, the plums would be parallel on a flat plane, though, right?
Yes.
All right. So see, he says they would be on a flat plane. They wouldn't be on a sphere.
Yeah.
So now we just got to find out which one they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's like all the semantics of what you do, Bev. It comes down to all we're really saying is our fundamental worldview difference.
No.
You're running.
It comes down quite easy, Scott, because what you've just done is you've said that the plumb lines aren't parallel, which means the horizontals intersect, which means that all I have to do is prove that level is horizontal, and I end up proving.
Doesn't mean anything.
What do you mean? Of course, it means everything to you, doesn't it?
What matters is the reality of these lines.
Someone else disagreed as well.
So,
like, the definition doesn't really what's at stake here.
It's not a definition.
It's not a definition, Scott. It's a
Well,
real world
when they
demonstration.
pretend you have a very lightly sloping horizontal that would be immeasurable over the micro distance, then it's not going to be accepted. You got to understand.
Hold on, we've been told that there is a measured drop. So there is a measurement over a mile.
Yeah, it's measurable. Jesse says it's measurable.
Jesse said this.
Yeah.
It drops down, drops away.
Okay.
I heard it was 8
at a
inches.
rate of 8 inches per distance miles square.
That's like a rough rule of thumb. I don't think that's
which
exactly
is insanely
That was
slight
Jesse's
and
asking.
minuscule. That's so minuscule.
8 inches over a mile is minuscule.
Absolutely.
Are you saying that's not
It's like
measurable?
0.00001%.
Are you saying that's not measurable? 8
You're
inches
saying
over a mile.
it's hardly noticeable.
Don, do you think it's
0.0001% of what?
Scott,
Of
that's,
the length of the distance.
Yeah, but it's 8 inches.
And how many inches are in a mile, sir?
But who cares?
Oh my
You're
God.
measuring the vertical drop.
Doesn't matter. It's 8 inches of drop from the horizontal.
Look, man.
What does this mean to you
You
guys?
can't measure 8 inches. You're crazy.
Well, you can measure 8 inches at any given spot for sure. Can you see 8 inches across a distance of a
No
mile?
one's talking
That might
about
be hard.
seeing it. We're talking about measuring it. Don't obfuscate.
Sure, if you're at any given spot, you can measure 8 inches. That's true. I don't
Measure.
think
From a horizontal plane.
Hold on, 3 seconds. There's some of these people in here don't think you can establish a horizontal, straight, level line. So this is where the problem lies.
Because they've never done it.
I don't even think you can't establish a line. It's that if the line is supposed to be perpendicular to the plumb, then
No.
it's not going to work as you.
Surveyors establish horizontal level lines.
It's what they do for a
perpendicular
job.
to a plumb at a point.
No.
But if you move away from that point,
No.
then it's no longer perpendicular.
Peachy,
I
you're
did
talking
it
crap.
today, two
Fine,
separate
man.
occasions
No,
with
that's
2
true.
separate crews. Every day is what I do it. That's what I do. Create horizontals. And
But
then
we talked about
measure
that with you.
drop from it.
We went over in detail what's going on when
Yeah,
you do
what
yours.
you said is wrong because we don't care
I don't
what's
think-
under us. See, because
I didn't
the
say you can't
land,
care.
the land that we work on is never horizontal. It always has slope and elevation changes and humps and valleys. We don't care about
That's
that.
fine.
We're just creating a horizontal.
That's fine, but if you're doing it
So
every
you
100
agree I can do
meters
it?
or whatever it was.
No, you're wrong about that.
Well, you can't. If you do it every 100 meters, you're resetting your plumb basically.
I am not resetting the horizontal. I'm continuing the horizontal.
Well, look, we can go over this a whole other subject. We can go over it sometime again if you want. But I claim that the way you're doing it, every time you remeasure, you're resetting your error. Basically, you're
And
getting rid
when
of all the error you had
someone
before.
claims that has never ever done it.
The main
I could be
surveyor
wrong with you.
disagrees with
I'm just telling you the way we talked about it before. I'm not. It's not like a call out switch. If you want to show me that I'm wrong, I'm happy to hear. I trust you. You're a good guy. Like you're not a dick. Like let's talk about it.
Who have you talked to? I don't even understand who you would talk to. You're listening to the wrong people.
No, I mean you. You mean you and I can talk about it is what I'm saying. I'd be happy to.
No, I'm saying you need to. Don't trust me. Go and find somebody you trust.
Okay. So anyway, who was saying my name but Peach instead of my name?
Veach.
Yes.
Or
yes.
Peach. You know who Jeff, the main surveyor, is, don't you?
No, I don't know Jeff.
Well, he's a surveyor, and he's from Maine.
Okay.
All over him like I always do.
So, could I ask the question to Scott? So, if you had a water level, now that you know what the tool is, if you set one up on a post, and that's like your datum level, and then you took the other end of it, and you went say 200 meters. Do you think that establishes a horizontal plane?
I'm sorry. Who was just talking?
Spot on.
Who was just saying something?
Try listening, BG.
What was his name?
Spot on.
Spot on. Okay, hold on. Spot on. For some reason, you're really quiet for me, and I missed some of those words. Would you? I'm going to turn you up to 200. Would you say it one more time? Sorry.
Yeah, no worries, mate. No, my mic isn't the best, I'll be honest. So, yeah. So, if you had a water level, like you're familiar with the water level now, yeah.
Yeah.
The pipe, and so if you had one of those and you fastened it to a post, and that's your data. You obviously got your level, your water's in there, and then you took the other end, and you kept walking, and say you got to, I don't know, 200 meters.
Okay.
Would that establish a straight horizontal line, like a horizontal plane between the 2 points?
Okay, so here's what I claim. If you draw a line that goes sort of from the water level of one to the water level of the other, I claim that the surface of the water is not going to be parallel with that line. So there's no line that you can make that's going to be parallel to the surface of A, parallel to the surface of B, and at the same time, because they're going to be oriented slightly differently now.
That's absolute horseshit.
You can approximate it, of course.
Absolute horseshit.
This is what it means to have a gravity vector that.
Okay.
Well, so I guess my answer is no. You can't establish horizontal that way. Is that the answer to your question?
So you're also saying that surveyors can't do their jobs.
What I'm saying is that the gravity vector changes with distance. Any point on the Earth has a different gravity vector than any other point.
Right.
The surface of the water is dependent upon the gravity vector. So if there are two different points, they have two different surface orientations. That's what
all
I'm saying.
I want is a horizontal plane marked out on 3 posts at a mile distance, total distance.
You talk about Bedford level.
No, I'm not talking about Bedford levels.
Actually, press.
Basically are.
Maybe press.
No, I'm not.
DP, you can carry on, mate. Sorry, but the press. Have you heard of the water level test that domesticated primates talking about?
I've seen demonstrations of this. I've seen people.
It's a water level test at a canal.
Yeah, I've not seen them do it at a canal. I've seen them do it on a runway, a very long runway.
Yeah. Don't worry about that. I mean, because the runway's got no reference. But I let DP carry on. But yeah, there's a test that you might be.
I'm interested in it. Don't get me wrong. I mean, Veach put out a mutually exclusive scenario. Either the plumbs will be perpendicular or not. Apparently, surveyors use theodolites. They make them plumb, and then they try to look back at each other. And apparently, they can't see exactly horizontal to each other, inferring this sort of different gravitational perpendicular thing.
Yeah, but those.
And I posted the link in the chat. And I even said along with it, though, I've never had a Glober verify this shit. Challenge that shit right there. That's what they base it off of.